Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. For only the fourth time this season, the Blue Jackets failed to find the back of the net. CBJ were shut out in Buffalo last night 5-0. Sabres tallied 4 goals in the final 20 to push the CBJ further out of a postseason spot. Jackets have 3 to play and trail the Flyers by 2 points for third in the Metro. The wild card's likely out of reach as Ottawa's 4 points better than Columbus. Thanks to a 5-1 win last night in Florida, the Blue Jackets wrap a 3-game road trip Saturday in Montreal. They'll host Boston on Sunday. In golf, Rory McIlroy and Sam Burns share the lead as the second round of the Masters rolls along at Augusta. Burns begins his Friday around 12:30, while McIlroy won't tee off until 1:45. Scotty Scheffler's 3 off the lead. He'll go around 10:20. In college hoops, the portal's open through Monday, April 20th. No official news on Ohio State additions, but the Buckeyes will open next season at BYU November 2nd. This update sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation today.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery is joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Friday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Is spring football going to look the way that it's looked in the future? We will get into that coming up at 10 o'clock. 10:30, Tim Megan to drop by as is customary. 11 o'clock, what we learned this week. 11:30, Porty drops by. Yes, we will discuss what happened last night and the waning hopes of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Although I suppose, Bake, your 96 number might still be enough if that's still mathematically in play, is it not?
It seems like it, especially with the Flyers losing last night. Again, you didn't lose any ground in the playoff chase for the Metro, at least.
Hanging on by a thread, baby. Hanging on by a thread.
Math.
Staying alive.
You got to win, what, the last 3?
Last 3 get you to 96, right?
I'll do it.
Will that do it?
I think so.
Mathematically, yes.
Philadelphia.
Well, you need Philly to lose.
Well, I mean, they've had that kind of puck luck, so...
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. Let me ask you guys this.
What a dud.
What do you guys, if you don't mind me asking, and if you can give me a ballpark if you don't give me the exact number, what do you pay for a haircut? Bake, the last time you paid for one.
I've never paid for a haircut in my life.
In your life?
In my life. My grandfather was a barber my whole life, so I have never paid a dime for a haircut.
That's incredible. Lifetime spent 0 on haircut.
Zip.
That's unbelievable.
$25.
Okay. I'm 50, and that's kind of been this place I've been since the TV world for years ago, because I've said this before, like we would get it, you'd get it comped. And so we had a deal, I think, one time with Kenneth's and then one time with Penzone. And so we would go there, and at those days it was comped, but then you get someone who does it right, or in your view, you do it right, who knows, and then you just stay with that person. So, all right, very good, very fair. When I was a kid, we would go to the Maine barber in Conrad, Montana, and the price for a haircut was $8 for a haircut when I was a kid. My dad gets in last night. Somehow we start talking about the boy's hair because, as you can imagine, it's a little unkept for what he would prefer. And so we were chatting a little bit about it. And he begins to tell a story that the Maine barber, where he has gone to get a haircut, I guess the whole time since, in the 30 years that have passed since the last time he's continued. And why wouldn't you? You know, well, you would. And he told me that there was an incredible amount of drama in town because the Maine barber in Conrad, Montana, raised her prices. It's one woman who's cutting the hair, has been the whole time, right? From $8 to $10. And this caused an uproar. And my dad told her well, there goes your tip. And he thought it was like funny. I'm like, Dad, it's not funny at all. I said, so you don't tip? He goes, oh yeah, she cuts women's hair too. So his lady friend goes there and she charges her $10 to cut her hair. To which my wife spit up her wine that there was a $10 female haircut that was available in Montana. My dad's lady friend, I think, does the right thing and just pays her $20, like just gives her $20, which I think is the like minimum. So he's telling this story with great pride last night that when the last time I went in there, she charged him 10, he gave her a 20, and she goes, I suppose you want change. And he goes, yeah, this isn't my lady friend or whatever. So she goes to give him change. He goes, all I want is $9 back. He tipped her $1, a $10 haircut. My kid's
different on the Ponderosa.
My kid's looking at him like he's Yoda. Like, what are you talking about, man? First of all, how is this even still possible? Like, what is I don't even know. Like, what is in town here? Like, what is the like walk-in price? It's gotta be, and then so what I said, Dad, it feels like you just have ignored like passage of time and inflation. Like you just want things to be the way that they were priced in the 1970s, buddy. We got a lot of years that have stacked here, man. You're still only paying 10 for a haircut. Like, and I guess one of the other guys who was balding, buddy of his, was balding. They were in there the same day, and the balding guy goes, he goes, I think I should only be charged $5. You have less hair to cut.
Everything's a negotiation.
And it's not like these guys are hurting for funds. Okay, like they're farmers and ranchers. They're doing just fine. But like the idea that somehow that was a bridge too far. The $10 haircut was a bridge too far.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
I couldn't imagine like a $1 tip and being like, okay,
how
that's
could
good.
you walk out like
Great.
that? Now, I will say tipping culture's gotten out of control. That you get hit with this. I never know what to do with like the Uber Eats order. Like they always say, and as soon as you do the Uber Eats, then it'll say like right away it says very good, great, whatever the service is. And I'm like, gosh, I don't know what that is. So I always over tip because I don't want them to I don't want anybody ever thinking I'm cheap. So I always over tip on everything. But I think it's crazy too. Like you'll go to pick up food and they'll want to tip there. And it'll be like, well, it's because of, they're putting it all together or whatever. So I never know what to do. So I always just over tip because I don't want someone to ever be whispering that I'm cheap. So I just do it that way. But the tipping culture's gotten out of control. It's gotten absolutely out of control.
I will agree with that, Bo. And I'm someone who usually over tips because I was a kid that delivered papers from the age of 9 to like the age of 20. Mm-hmm. So, you got tips and but there are some things like, I go to Subway and you make my sandwich and you want a tip. Like I come in and get it and I'm leaving. Like I don't know about that. Like I'm not sitting down. You're not serving me. Everything wants a tip now. You go get a burrito at Chipotle. You want a tip? Well, no, I don't want a tip. Like if you're bringing me drinks and you're bringing me 5 courses, yeah, let's go. But I am a tip. Like I will always tip well.
Always. Yeah, you have to. I'm with you. I can't have it the other way. I remember like having a real problem when I worked at it was the Western, it was called Gart Sports. It was basically West Dick Sporting Goods. Mm-hmm. And I worked there in college. And I remember my girlfriend was a waitress and she would just crush it on the tips. And I remember thinking like, man, I'm putting shoes on people's feet. Where's my tip? Where's my tip for this? I'm running back and forth between 16 Hirachis. Like, can somebody throw me $2 for the effort here? Jeez, I don't blame him. The tipping stuff's gotten out of control, but in the history of my life, I've never heard of a thing as an $8 haircut. Dommy's weighing in on this. I always tip big. I give $20 tip for a haircut. Anyone that brings me food, I give them a big tip too. I'm the same, brother. I don't want them touching my food wrong. I'm the same.
That's the biggest thing, right?
Always over.
You get a delivery driver.
Yeah.
You make sure that there can be nothing to like open the door for your food to be messed with any more than it might have already been.
And you can't. The other thing is like you can't get a thumbs down on your rating if you're doing the Uber Eats or what's the other one, DoorDash. Like if you get a negative,
rate you.
They can rate you.
Oh,
yeah, like you suck. And it's like, well, I don't want that. Uber is anyway. Uber Eats is like that, just kind of like the Uber. There was an incident in a car about 5 years ago that will remain untold, a story that will remain untold, where some things that my wife did in the car caused my Uber rating to drop. And let's just say that was a scene.
You couldn't appeal that?
No, you're cooked at that point. You're cooked. So, yeah, that's it.
Don't you get a special cleaning fee for that?
Good read on you.
It's called special, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it didn't happen in the car, to her credit. I guess it's more than a couple of years ago. This is probably about 10. Yeah, she was able to get it. It was all out, so she was fine.
We one time at a bachelor party had a special cleaning fee that happened in the limo, and it was not me.
No, there's no winning there. And you just sign up for whatever it is. It's $1,500.
Okay, you don't have a choice. $250. Okay.
I'm sure all of that is going to be for sure. That seems very much worth it. Has this Blue Jackets season been worth it? It's going to come down to 3 games, kids. It did not go well last night at all. We will get into that. We're off and running on a Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
For more than 25 years, Brothers Roofing and Construction has been serving Central Ohio with dependable roofing, siding, and exterior repairs. We do the job right the first time. So if quality matters to you, visit brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Tax time is here, folks. That refund burning a hole in your pocket, or maybe you're just ready for something bigger, tougher, more you? Head to Capital Ford in Whitehall and drive home in a brand new F-150, Explorer, Bronco, or Mustang with incredible tax time savings. Right now, get 0% APR for up to 60 months on select models, plus qualified buyers can defer payments for up to 90 days. At Capital Ford, you'll find great rates, flexible terms, and approval power that get you behind the wheel fast. Visit CapitalFordColumbus.com today. See dealer for details. Not all buyers qualify.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Aviators football returns Friday, April 17th, 8 p.m. kickoff. The first 5,000 fans through the gates take home a free team flag. Grab your tickets now at UFLaviators.com. United we fly.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The heat is on its way, and my AC's not brand new. How can I make sure it cools like it's supposed to?
I recommend a tune-up to you and every caller. Experience true comfort for $53.
Get an AC tune-up for $53.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework. Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Jackets are making a push to the playoffs.
Islanders and Adam Fantilli, one more time, puts it in the net.
Listen to every exciting moment, including an extended pregame show for weekend games. Proud to be your home of the Jackets. The Fan.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Hi, I'm Cherie Sample Hughes, Women in Government Board Chair. Alzheimer's disease often starts subtly with a memory slip, lost word, or forgotten appointment. For patients experiencing memory and thinking issues, there are FDA-cleared blood biomarker tests that can help detect the buildup of proteins in the brain that can lead to the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. That's why early detection and diagnosis are so important. Sharing details about your memory and thinking issues with your doctor can help determine if testing is right for you. Find more at womeningovernment.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies with increasing clouds throughout the day and a chance of showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon and early evening. Daytime highs will soar with breezy winds into the mid-70s, and then for tonight, partly cloudy overnight with our lows in the 40s. For Saturday, more sunshine in the forecast, but cooler with daytime highs topping out in the mid to upper 60s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
The Great Snags makes a great point here. My biggest gripe with food delivery tipping is they ask for the tip before the food is made or delivered. Where is the incentive to make the food properly, deliver it on time? It's a great point. I primarily use Uber Eats, and that's what it does too. Like as soon as you buy it, they ask for the tip on the delivery versus after the delivery is delivered. So that's a decent gripe on him. The timing of that probably ought to be adjusted a little bit. I'm not sure what DoorDash does.
So I think with some of those, like if I remember correctly, like the driver can see how much they will be making with like tip and their total fee. So some of them may not, if it's not big enough, they may skip it. I don't know how that is. Now, I do think like you could put like a standard tip on there, like the minimum, and then maybe go back and add a tip later. If it was like, you know, they did a great job, did exactly what you asked for, got it there super fast, all of those things. I think you can add later.
Okay.
But
NBC still tipped $10 on the delivery of a Frosty. That happened. So
good job out of him.
Yeah, really is. I bet it was delivered timely.
How do you? Well, he's stealing the other's cards and making money. I mean,
complete con run.
Are you getting a Frosty delivered?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's not going to come.
No.
Still in a Frosty. It's going to be
soup.
Chocolate milk.
That's soup. I can't tell if he is DiCaprio's character in Catch Me If You Can or if he's Nick Papagiorgio from Vegas Vacation. I'm not sure which one he is. He's one of the two. I don't know which one. Maybe a lethal combination of both. But my antennas are up.
I think one of my most proud things in life is that I have never used DoorDash or Uber or any of these food delivery services.
That's because it's just you.
I understand.
You have the amount of time that you have at your disposal, and as busy as you are, Bake, but still.
Takes some planning sometimes, though.
Yeah, I know it. Good job out of you. I would say I probably do it 6 days a week, especially this time of year when you got them running in 1,000 directions. All right, we put this off long enough. Buffalo's one of the best teams in the league. It's not like you anticipated them going up there and handling business, but they needed to handle business, and it would have been nice to get a point out of this thing. Buffalo was coming on the second night of a back-to-back, but they were geared up for this one. You could tell. And then it just got completely out of hand in the third period, and it ends up 5-0. And what's the harm that's done in this? As the Handsome Update anchor said at the top of the hour, the harm is that the wild card is now probably gone. It's out of the equation. And so your path to the postseason now requires you to go through the Metropolitan Division. You are 2 points back of Philly with 3 to play. That's the good news-ish. The bad news is you play Montreal on Saturday night in Montreal. And if you want to see a team play with their hair on fire, watch Montreal on Saturday night up there. That's what you're going to get. So was this one going to ever be easy? No. This is one of the best teams in the league. But at the same time, the way that this thing has been leaking oil for a while now, the fact that they were coming off a back-to-back, we kind of talked ourselves into, boy, that game in Detroit, season saver, let's go. That's the one we're going to remember. Well, you wake up today and you're a point behind Detroit in the wild card. And so this is where you're at. Certainly not optimistic that they're going to find their way in, and the way that they played the last couple of weeks probably don't deserve to find their way in. But I suppose if you win the last 3, that's the minimum requirement now. So if you want to use the must-win tag, now is the time. If you've been holding out on that, we'll have Porty on at 11:30, and I'm guessing that he will finally be in must-win mode by the time we get to Saturday in Montreal.
It's been must not lose for me for maybe the past 2 weeks. I mean, any time in that 6-game slide, it's like, all right, let's pull a win out here, because that really puts you so far behind that you can't afford a mistake like this. And this was also with me looking ahead the last 5 games they had in their regular season. It's like you've got teams around you that are going to be playing their best hockey, or going to look to play their best hockey as they make legitimate playoff pushes, like what you saw last night in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if what you can possibly say anymore if you're Rick Bowness.
No.
I don't know if there's any more levers you can pull on this thing.
So I have been one that I have not used the word must win, because they are not. And I've said this many times. Everybody thought Ohio State was dead. Ohio State basketball. We said it's a must win for a daggone month.
Yep.
And then we got to Iowa and this is the must win of all wins. They're a team that's right there with you, fighting for that spot. You have to do this. Well, they lost to Iowa. And then they won their last 3 and they got in. And I have a feeling if the Jackets win their last 3, they will be in. Now, there is no way, really, in how they're playing right now, offensively, that makes you think that they can go to Montreal and beat them, turn around and beat Boston at home the next night, and then take care of business with Washington, with everything on the line on a Tuesday night at home. Crazy things happen, and there's part of me that disagrees with Rick Bowness and how much he praised the way they played that last night. They did play pretty well last night until the temperature got turned up at the end, until Buffalo raised their level of play and the Jackets wilted. And I understand they get that second goal and then you're all offense at that point, but there wasn't a response. And Bo, I know you joked about me being like Jody, and when I say, and I know you understand this, when I say the word somebody dragged them in the fight, it's not a literal fight, but it's somebody to go out there and set the tone or change momentum or have the other team dive on top of you because you whacked their goalie a few too many times. You got to.
Yeah.
And
I understand.
We've seen that the last 2 games at the end of the game, but that desperation isn't there throughout the whole game. And that's a problem.
Yeah. And the reality is that the other hard reality here is that you're just not quite good enough to play this way. The margin for error is gone. This is a team that put themselves in a position to get in. The rest of these are must win. I mean, that's kind of where you're at. You really need to win all 3 to get in. Your most logical choice is obviously through the Metropolitan, where the Flyers are sitting there 2 points ahead of you with the same 3 games to play. If you're curious what the Flyers have ahead of them, I mean, hell, quite honestly, guys, we could know by Saturday night. The Flyers are at Winnipeg on Saturday night, and the Jackets are at Montreal.
Yeah, you'll know after the Montreal game.
You're going to know after Montreal.
You might know in the third period.
I think so. That'll be your D-Day. They both start at 7 o'clock. To me, you'll know by Saturday night at 10 o'clock, you're going to know if you got a chance at this thing or not. Because, Carol, if the Flyers beat Winnipeg and you lose, if that combination happens, then it's cooked. The Flyers finish with Carolina and Montreal. The question will be, will either of those teams be playing for anything by the time they play the Flyers? Carolina, likely, they're 2 points ahead of Buffalo for the number 1 overall seed as it stands right now, with a game in hand. So Carolina may not be playing for anything at that point. Montreal could still be playing for the Montreal we know is going to still be playing for the Eastern Conference, and they may be by the end at that or not. The problem for the Blue Jackets is every game they play the rest of the way, there are going to be things online for the team that they're playing against. with exception to potentially the Capitals game at the very end. But you're going to get Montreal's best on Saturday night in Montreal. And so they just the margin is gone at this point. It just is. You mentioned Rick Bowness with a little bit of a different tone. I think this is the soundbite you were referencing here, Bake, where he talks about he liked the way they played.
Good. I mean, listen, we play like that again on Saturday, we'll be fine. Their goalie stole the game for them tonight. That was all us in the second period. He hit a couple of goal posts. You get that many chances, you think the puck's going to go in. It didn't go in for us tonight. They're a great hockey club over there. They didn't need many chances to score. But again, give their goalie all the credit in the world. It was like we were fighting until that second period was one of the best periods we played all year. And we came out of it with nothing to show for us. So we play like that again on Saturday, we'll be fine.
My hunch is, Bake, that after browbeating him a little bit the past couple of post games, he was trying to hope for the other. And there's some truth to what he said, too. But that would be my read on that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And again, they didn't play terrible last night for 2.5 periods. They played pretty well, other than they just can't get one in the net.
Yeah. No time to be frustrated. Here's bonus on that.
They're getting their chances. If they weren't getting their chances, then we'd have to say, okay, we got to do something. We don't have time to be frustrated, really. We'll talk about that on Saturday. We don't, there's no sense getting frustrated. All we have to do is get the right mindset going for Saturday night and go in there and beat Montreal.
You're Captain Boone Jenner. 3 games to go. Where's your head, bud?
Yeah, no, we got 3 left here, and we're just focused on Saturday in Montreal now. It's a tough one tonight, obviously, like I said, when you don't get rewarded for that effort, but it's going to take that effort and some, and obviously we want to bear down with some chances, and, I think we know we're not out of it, and like I said, there's a ton of resilience in this room and all the belief in the world and in this group right now.
You desperately want to get in as a fan. You desperately want to get in as someone who talks about it. You desperately want to get in if you're on that bench, if you're in that organization. How important is it? Got about a minute here, guys. How important is it for this team to get in? And if they don't, what is the disappointment level for you?
So importance on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to go an 8. Disappointment, a 10 if they don't make it in.
To me, Bo, it's a 10 that they have to get in because of what you did at the trade deadline. And I've talked about it then. They half went in. Mm-hmm. They needed to go all in or they needed to sell with those prices. So to me, I think you have to get in.
10-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like that, and you can feel them maybe clutching those sticks a little bit tighter. And when it gets a little heavy, you can feel it. You can certainly feel it. It can all go away. You win on Montreal on Saturday, coupled with the Flyers' loss, and boom, you're right back in this thing. What does an unburdened elite athlete look like? You got a little view of it Thursday at Augusta. We'll get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I started my first business when I was 12, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I learned if you do the job right, people trust you and customers care that you show up and do what you say you're going to do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts, and spring's guaranteed to last a lifetime. When you care about the people you serve, you work harder and it shows. Call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at 1033 Polaris Parkway at Polaris Commons. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Polaris Commons in Columbus.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a Friday. Day 2 of the Masters already underway at Augusta National, and Wyndham Clark out quick. He is already 3 under on his round. He started it even. Birdie on 2, birdie on 3, birdie on 4. So birdie, 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 2, 3, 4 to get to 3 under par in the early goings at Augusta. One thing that we figured out as you kind of pay attention to these type of things is the weather's going to be pristine down there. It's one of the greatest weather forecasts we've seen at Augusta in a very, very long time. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. It's going to be dry. That place is going to play ultra fast. It's going to play pure. And what you saw yesterday, I think the most noteworthy thing that happened yesterday is you saw a supremely gifted, talented player unburdened by pressure. And the fact that he's kind of already known the answers to the test and aced it, and now he's just doing it all over again. And you saw Rory McIlroy, who has been the most talented player of a generation now, who went about 10 years without winning a major, having won the Masters last year and then played without any sort of pressure at all and carted a 5 under in his first round. He'll go out later out this afternoon, but it's hard to watch what you watched yesterday and not think, my God, if he can play like that, look out. He could join that group of guys who've won back-to-back majors in the Grand Slam, a list that includes only Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. Rory post-round was asked about how winning one green jacket potentially makes it easier to win a second.
I said this when I came in on Tuesday. I think winning a Masters makes it easier to win your second one. It's hard to say because there's still shots out there that you feel a little bit tight with, and you have to just stand up and commit to making a good swing and not worry about really where it goes. But I think it's easier for me to make those swings and not worry about where it goes when I know that I can go to the champions locker room and put my green jacket on and have a Coke Zero at the end of the day.
Pretty big flex there at the end.
That's a nice flex. That's unburdened, though. That's what it is. That's what it looks like. When you've done the thing that you were trying to do for a decade and the pressure of that built for 10 years, and then you do it and you have that release, now all of a sudden, hey, man, just let the talent go. And no one's ever questioned his talent, not even Bake. For whatever issues you may have with him, no one at all questions his talent. The talent speaks to itself. And so now that's what you get. So you get one of the most talented players to ever play the game, and you have him unburdened now, and I think he's going to be in the mix for a while. What did you guys make of Rory's round?
Well, just kind of the picture that he painted with the green jacket sitting in the champion's locker and sipping on a Diet Coke. Like, I think we've all been there in those situations. You have a really good day at work and you're just relaxing and enjoying the situational beverage that comes with a good, hard day. And I think for him and for a lot of the guys yesterday, it felt like they played like they were really enjoying themselves out there. Now, there were some guys that were all over the place. Yeah. I think it was Robert McIntyre maybe who flipped the bird.
It was it was not Robert McIntyre. It was it begins with an H. Hatton. Terrell Hatton.
Oh, Terrell Hatton.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of understand that too. I certainly can't, not having played nearly as much golf as these guys, but like, hard day at work, I'm just tired of it. I'm done. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. It's so nice as a casual fan to watch the best in the world make it look so easy. And when it looks so pristine, like that's what you mentioned, like the weather for today, and it looks like through the rest of the weekend, you're going to get that.
I'm actually surprised because Hatton has actually complained about Augusta in recent years. Like he mimicked firing a gun at the property while making a triple bogey on 13. By the way, this was all in the 2022 Masters. He called the course's fairness into question on numerous occasions, giving the first green the middle finger and going as far as to mimic firing a gun at the property while making a triple bogey on 13. The Masters is an invite only. I'm surprised they invited him back. Like, they don't have to let anybody play in that thing. They don't have to invite him back.
Don't they invite so many, though, like so many of the best in the world, like the top rankings or whatever, and he's been in there. So
he is, but Bake,
I
I could be wrong. I don't think that there's any. Has he won a major? Oh, well, is he a major champion?
He's been
No,
close.
he's not.
I don't think he has.
He's not. So there isn't an automatic. I mean, obviously they want to, but I think it's all invitation. I could be wrong. To me, I'm surprised they invite him back when he has that type of behavior.
I think the most impressive thing yesterday from Rory was he birdies hole 2, the par 5, and then he bogeys hole 3. But then he was steady the rest of the way. There was no hiccups. There was no bogeys on the card the rest of the day. And that, I think, for anyone, no matter how well you're playing, to go 16 or 15 holes at Augusta without a bogey, that's pretty darn good. That means you're very in control of your game and your swing and everything that's going on that day.
Yeah, and for the guys that have played, and a lot of these guys have, but when you've won it there, you know the spots you have to hit to.
For sure.
And this is why when people talk about if Tiger were to ever to become healthy and win again, we always say he would win it at Augusta because he knows where to place the ball. He knows where it has to go. That ship sailed, obviously, but that's always the knowledge you have of that course and knowing where to play it, that's what allows for it. And then now if you don't have the pressure, now you can swing free.
It's why the Olathabels and the Fred Couples, and they're always there at the beginning, and then eventually the age and the physicality of the course takes over and they fall off, but they're always there at the beginning, start hot because they know how to play the course.
Absolutely. The firmer conditions are going to make it incredibly fast. Here is Rory on what to expect as the days start to stack at Augusta.
It's, as it gets drier, the grass around the greens gets stickier, that ryegrass, so it makes it more difficult to hit the bump and runs. And it also makes the putting through that grass a little bit trickier as well. I think when the greens get that firm, you really have to think about where the best miss is, and distance control is very important, but that also different, missing it left, missing it right. So it just, when the greens get like this, it's not going to be soft. So when the greens do get firm like this, it makes it a much more tactical test, and you really have to think about things. And as you guys know, I've said for the last few years, I've started to really relish that type of golf, and I really want to excel at that type of golf.
It did not go well for one of the other early headliners, and he was actually the betting favorite by the time this thing started. That was Bryson DeChambeau. He carded a 76. He said it was the iron play that let him down.
Just going to give what the golf course gives me. I got to hit my irons better. I mean, and drove it left on numerous occasions. Hit a great drive on 18. Wind didn't hurt it like we thought, and that's this game. That's the golf course. Everybody has an ability for weird things to happen, and today I just did not have my irons under control.
You think he brought a printer with him?
He
triple bogeyed 11, so it's you just keep printing them until you get the right combination?
He was asked about that, how long it would take, and he said about a day and a half total to print it and cut the grooves and put it in. But he said the process of getting it conformed to the USGA, there's no way.
There's no chance.
I'd be fascinated to see the process of getting it approved. Because this is uncharted territory, I'm sure, for everybody involved.
Right. Yeah, I wonder what they're looking at. Have you guys ever seen a 3D printing machine operate?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bootsy got one for Christmas. It does the plastic, but it takes stuff that's so basically, for those of you who don't know, it's it takes this, think of a plastic thread of various thicknesses, and then through the app, you put in what you want, and then it just layers it and prints it right in front of you. I think I have he did a Porsche for me, a little Porsche thing that he did that in the wheels move and everything. And I'm like, this is crazy. And this was a couple $100 Christmas gift is what this was. So I can't even imagine what DeChambeau's working with on this.
There was somewhere here in Columbus where they were doing 3D printed homes. A printer that was that big.
They use concrete.
Yeah, that it was
that
just
similar
doing
layering.
The whole home.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. By the way, you were right, Reese. It was Bobby McIntyre. He did it too, so they both lost their mind. Timmy Hall letting me know Bobby Mack flipped the bird at 15 pond. He took a 9.
Look, I get it. You're having a really bad day, and sometimes the bird needs to come out, but probably not there. Because I wonder, they're saying he's going to face discipline.
Yeah.
What's that look like?
Never coming back is the discipline that they can do if they want. I mean,
he's not going to make the cut. It's +3 is the projected line.
Yeah.
So he's good to not make the weekend. You can plan your flight home Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah,
looks like early on today there's some scoring that's happening. So, these guys who are out in the morning, you get a little bit of morning dew, maybe a little bit down there. It's a little slower. Those guys going in the afternoon, I'm thinking that thing is going to be so fast. So fast. And that happened to Bryson a couple of times. Like, he drove it in places where, you thought it would hold and then it would run through the fairway. So that's something that you're going to have to watch for this weekend as well. But it's awesome. I by the time I got done after the Blue Jackets game, I watched some of the replays on ESPN last night. It's awesome. Love it. And it's great to have it back. All right, coming up next, we head to the Diamond and the Aviators looking to get back on the winning side of things, or rather get their first win of the season. We'll get into all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to power your progress, so you can give everything you've got, all for just 1 cent down. Whether you want to get the most out of our best-in-class equipment or go all in with free fitness training, our trainers are ready to help you get stronger than ever before. Take your workout to the next level at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
There is nothing more meaningful you can do for yourself, your family, and friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy that time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. Here, let me help you. It's Bobby Carpenter, and Dr. Tesler and his team at QC Kinetics take care of your pain in the office so you can go right along with your day. It's that easy. So if you say yes to any of these questions, you're the kind of patient QC Kinetics regenerative treatments can help every day. I have consistent pain in my joint, knees, hips, shoulder, back. Pain keeps me from getting a good night's sleep. I'm missing work or saying no to things that I love. I don't want surgery or a long-term recovery. I am at the end of my rope, and taking medications every day is just going to get me through the day. I don't want to do it anymore. So if you want to do that, go check out your free consultation over with my friends at QC Kinetics in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices in Dublin and in Gahanna.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
Don't let a failing sump pump put your home at risk. Right now, get $80 off sump pump replacement with Logan Services. Protect your basement from flooding and get the peace of mind you deserve. Call now. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
The Jackets hit the road for a battle with the Canadians. Live fan coverage starts Saturday night at 6.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2026 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to relaunch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes going above and beyond. We are calling on you to help us recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in your community to be recognized on 10 TV and The Fan. Send in your nominations and stories to 10tv.com/raisetheroof. 10tv.com/raisetheroof. Nominate a local hero today and help us raise the roof for those who make a difference.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.99% APR, 6.02% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The best facial hair on the air. This is Bishop and Friends.
Reese, you had a master's question with the merch.
Yeah, so Baker had this, and I don't want to step all over his prep work here about just the amount of money that's spent at the merch tent or the merch stand. $277 a second is what they rake in at Augusta. And I asked Bake this morning, like, what's one thing? Like, you go in there, you get one thing. They're like, It doesn't matter the price. What would it be for you?
Let's add one caveat. Doesn't matter. I like how you did that. Doesn't matter what the price is.
Yeah, price isn't an object here.
Right. But also for you to have. Not to put on eBay and
no, you keep it. Like the gnome
it's
thing is
yours.
incredible. I got into a wormhole about that last year.
Isn't that crazy?
People are
the gnomes.
It's brilliant out of them because it gets people to, if they're not coming back, they might be having a friend that goes and, hey, pick up a gnome for me, or just scouring eBay for it because they're available. They're kind of cool, but kitschy.
Somebody with I can't remember if it was golf. Shedlowski was on with AR. I don't think AR and Maddie. I don't think it was him, but there was somebody I heard who worked for Golf Channel who said that by Wednesday, the gnomes were gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Completely gone. So, yeah, non-collector's item. You can go in there, you get one thing. What
you can do the collector's item, but it's yours.
Or non-resell.
Yeah.
Yeah, non-resell. What do you got?
So, this may seem kind of silly, but since I have been full-time here and have a desk, I've been collecting like hat pins and putting them in the little pushboard area of my desk. So I think I would just want a little Masters logo hat pin or lapel pin that I could stick right there up next to my Stadium Series one and my Aviators one and Cincinnati Reds one, all the little hat pins that I've gotten.
These gnomes, this 2026 edition's going for $750 on eBay. $775, $679, $1,000. Sure. Wow. There's your mortgage payment. Well, I got this gnome, sweetie.
I got a gnome, honey.
Fine.
What are you getting, Reese?
Either a quarter zip or a sweatshirt.
Yeah. So the merch is legendary. I've had a lot of buddies who have gone. You have a number. Every item is numbered, and there's an incredible amount of like pressure in the buying because like when you're up there, they don't have a lot of patience for you to go, well, I want to try this on. So like everybody I've known who's gone, it says know your sizes, know what you're going for, know your colors, and pick your stuff, and away you go. So they have all the clothing things that you'd want, the quarter zips, the golf hoodies, polo shirts, all the hats, all that stuff. All the drinkware, there might be something there pretty cool, like a couple of crystal tumblers with Augusta National. That might be kind of cool. I'd probably be into that a little bit. There are pin flags that are often signed Amen Corner branded apparel as well, large Masters umbrella, logoed ball markers, divot tools, Christmas ornaments. It's funny, everybody says visit the shop immediately upon entering to secure high-demand items like the gnomes. Okay, fine. But if you're not in the gnome hunting business down there, I would probably go later.
I'm not doing a line upon entry to Augusta.
I don't think so either. And my hunch is that, like, if you're looking for quarter zips and stuff, Peter Millar has it well stocked. I don't think you're not going to have sizes. I think if you're doing $277 a second, then you're probably good. It's a stupid. Do you have the data, Bake, on like what the total for this is? I'm sure they would never release it, but what people think it could be?
So we've got this here. Let me just jump ahead here to thing or not a thing. They said that
because this is Joe Pompliano.
Yeah, they'll do about $70 million in merchandise sales this week, which equals $10 million a day, $1 million per hour, $16,000 per minute, and as Reese said, $277 per second. He also says that that's $25 million more in merchandise sales than the Atlanta Braves did all of last year.
Thing or not a thing.
Massive thing. And here's the other thing that's crazy about it. Like, it's not like they don't sell it online. Can you imagine if they sold it online, what they would do? If they had like limited entries who could buy it online? Some of it's the exclusivity, which causes people to go nuts about it because you can only get it there. So I'm not dismissing that. That's a massive part of it. But again, remember, like, their numbers are limited. This isn't like every other golf tournament where you take all the people you want. Like, you can't sell out the Memorial Tournament. They'll get more tickets. You put 200,000, 300,000 people out there if you want. But you can sell this thing out. They're limited, and they're still doing that. That's why they don't need any money from CBS to broadcast the thing. Don't need any money from ESPN to broadcast the thing. They do what they want.
Coke, you don't like what we're doing? Well, we don't need your advertising.
You're out. We'll see you on down the line. That's incredible. Incredible numbers. Does not surprise me at all. I've got a quarter zip, Masters quarter zip, and I've got a Masters vest from people who have gotten me, from buddies who have gone down there. So,
$10 million a day.
It's crazy. More that line about the Braves, really, that blows my mind because the Braves are pretty dang popular down there. They did more money than the Braves did all last season. That's crazy. Couple other things around the sports world. The Aviators on the road this weekend trying to avoid 0-3. Here will be the challenge for them. Are they at the point where we're worried? How do they get to the point where we're worried about the record, if that makes sense? Because right now, it's a fun thing to do on a Friday night. They had a great crowd for the opener. They lost the game. When you know you've made it will be when people are worried about the results. That's when you know you made it. We're too soon for that now.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming next year.
Yeah.
I feel like they get a pass for all of this year, but next season, you better win.
Must not go 0-10.
Yeah.
That's the challenge, right?
And I would assume the way that league's set up that they will, there are certain markets that you want to have success, and so you can kind of load teams to make sure that there's some success.
And we talked about this a little bit. Their quarterback was supposed to be Clayton Tune, who signed a deal with an NFL team and is why he's not here, has played and started NFL games. Yeah. That's huge for that league. So losing that quarterback hurts a lot. And you can see they've added players each week as this has gone on. They added 2 wide receivers yesterday, one of which who has played games in the NFL. Grant DuBose, who was drafted by Green Bay, played some for them in Miami, was on Buffalo's practice squad last year. So I don't know. I'm not paying attention to every team and see if they're adding players every week. But the Aviators, at least, are making tweaks to the roster every week.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's it though. I mean, right now it's something to do on a Friday night. They had a nice Friday night last week and just kind of stay in the mix a little bit. This one again is on Big Boy TV. This one is on Sunday. They're down in Dallas against the Renegades at noon. That is an ABC television production. So that is on Big Boy ABC.
And all of theirs are on ABC, ESPN, or Fox. All of them. So it's all Big Boy TV.
Guys, what does that tell you about how much, number one, content, number two, sports content, like how critical those things are to networks? I mean, Rapoli, we had him on last week. They're trying to get 15,000 people tickets sold at all of these home games for these openers. They did here, they did down in Louisville, but that's only 15,000. The networks don't even care. Is it football? Is it live sports? Yeah, sign us up. We'll take it. And so they are. Second hour of the program coming up next. Tim May coming up at 10:30. What will spring games look like in the not too distant future? Some clues out there. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970. community, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
BMI Federal Credit Union is celebrating their 90th anniversary all year long with monthly sweepstakes. Get in on your chance to win free gas for a year when you lower your car payment with a BMI FCU auto loan. Apply today at bmifcu.org/gas.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself, but here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment means you could miss everything happening around you. Don't let those few seconds take your attention away from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
When we designed our Columbus Blue Jacket ticket plans, we designed them for fans like you. For fans who want to choose their games and their seats, and fans who need flexibility when their plans change. Columbus Blue Jacket season ticket plans. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone here for Window Nation. Spring has arrived, and it'll be a great time to open your windows. But oh, wait, your windows don't open easily. They leak when it rains. They've got cracked glass. They need repainting again. Ugh, getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation, that's easy and affordable. Right now, during the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. With Window Nation, you'll get windows that easily slide open and closed. They are made with top quality seals so they won't leak when it's rainy or windy. And unlike other windows, they're maintenance free. They're so good, Window Nation stands behind them with a lifetime warranty. And they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale. Going on now. Sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com for your consultation.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Time's running out for the Blue Jackets. CBJ have 3 left to play and are 2 points back of the Flyers for third in the Metropolitan Division. Columbus was blanked in Buffalo 5-0 last night, but thanks to Detroit beating Philly, the Jackets didn't lose any ground. The wild card's likely out of reach for Columbus, who will skate in Montreal on Saturday before hosting Boston on Sunday. CBJ will wrap the regular season next Tuesday hosting the Capitals. In golf, Rory McIlroy and Sam Burns share the lead at 5 under as the second round of the Masters rolls along. Burns begins his Friday around 12:30. McIlroy goes around 1:45. Wyndham Clark's 2 off the lead at 3 under. He's through 7 on the day. In baseball Friday, the Reds host the LA Angels at 6:45. The Guardians are in Atlanta to take on the Braves at 7:15. This update is sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for metal. Visit Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com or 2180 Wilson Road for all your metal needs. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
A week from today, we will be previewing the spring game here on the program as the Buckeyes will play Buckeyes a week from Saturday. Big Ten put out the schedule for the Big Ten spring game broadcasts on BTN. Obviously, ours at noon next Saturday. At 2 o'clock on that same day, Michigan will go. So the Kyle Whittingham era will be unveiled, at least in part, at 2 o'clock that same afternoon. Indiana's is the 23rd. Minnesota's, so they're doing the prime time at Indiana. Minnesota's is the 25th at noon. Oregon is the 25th at 4 o'clock. And then Washington is at 9:30 Eastern on 5/1 as they get into May. All of this while one prominent institution and a team that I think a lot of people ought to expect to be in the national championship hunt canceled theirs altogether. Lane Kiffin with this down at LSU. I just stopped the spring game a few years ago. It was on TV. You're giving that because there was another portal coming up. So you're basically giving people evaluations of your players, especially your newer ones and how they're doing. And then it became that on top of the financial piece of how much you're investing in players now and how significant injuries are. And looking at the big picture of that, I just feel like it's not worth it. So LSU will not be playing a spring game. Meantime, out in Boulder, Colorado, Deion Sanders is going the other way, saying, I'd like to go down the street and play a home and away against Colorado State. He wants actual games in the spring. I don't know what's right or what's wrong, but I do think that this is, in a way, kind of a microcosm of how clueless everybody is in the sport right now. Nobody knows what to do with their hands. That's the reality of this right now.
I'll say this. The spring game should never be canceled. Like, understanding what that thing means to your fan base, assuming, I guess all I can do that it's as important in Baton Rouge as it is in Columbus.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I can't see a world where you go, yeah, I don't get my Buckeye football in the spring fix. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, the idea that you're going to be charging what you're going to be charging in Columbus and Baton Rouge and Tuscaloosa and Athens for tickets in the regular season against marquee matchups. The spring game is always given the chance for families to go down to whichever cathedral they choose, whether it be Ohio Stadium or whether it be Death Valley, and have that moment in the spring to just kind of embrace the team that you love with the people that you love. Was so special to me growing up. And so I can't imagine anybody just getting it less than thinking, oh, yeah, we don't need the spring game. And from the standpoint of it'll give other people chances to scout our players, what do you mean? They can turn on tape from last season or they can turn on high school tape. Like, you don't have access on your tablet to any position player in the country? I mean, there's so many sites that even 6th, 7th, and 8th graders have tape out there. Like, what are we doing, Lane?
Yeah. You reminded me of something, though, as you said, that's something that's very much accepted up here that was an eye-opener for me when I moved up here. When I moved up here, first spring game that I did was actually, that would have been, I moved up here in May of 2007, so it would have been the 2008 spring game. We had the broadcast rights at 10 TV and the Ohio News Network, and we did the pregame and did the game and all of those things. And the one thing, that was in the height of the who can draw the most people for their spring game era. You remember how big of a deal this was? Like, everyone's like, oh, we had 80,000 for our spring game. We had 95,000 for our spring game.
They run sprints in Alabama.
Yeah, they were so jacked up for it. And what I had never considered was that at Ohio Stadium, at an Ohio State for the spring game, they charged an admission. They didn't in the South. The spring game was free. It was free at Florida State. It was free at Florida. I assume it was free in Tuscaloosa. It was free at Georgia. and anybody could go and watch the team. And so I remember, I think it was Alabama that was crowing about the size of their spring game. Well, then one year Tress was like, okay, fine. Like we're going to go. And I remember Tress at a press conference in a Hawaiian shirt trying to sell the idea of the spring game. And there was 100 and some thousand people for the spring game that year. And it may have coincided with Pryor's second year, would be my hunch, somewhere around there. And there was 100,000 people in it. And I remember doing wall-to-wall sports with Dami that night and saying, well, yeah, they got 100,000. They charge $5 a head. Alabama got 90,000. They let them all in for free. Who's smarter? Like, there's that component of it too up here, and that still exists to a certain extent because one of their biggest NIL fundraisers is also from this. They have that concert at the Woody that's an NIL fundraiser that happens after it. So Ohio State right now's approach is, let's make as much as we can while we can. And I know they donate some too as well. I don't know the exact economics of all of the charges for the spring game, but there's some of that too. So the one thing you hear more and more, and I'm with you, Reese, I hope it never goes away, but the one thing that you hear more and more, and when you think about college football getting to an NFL model, is this becoming more of something that happens in May, and this becomes something where it's a little bit like OTAs and mandatory minicamp, where you have a couple of weeks and then you got a 3-day mandatory minicamp and that's it. I do think you could end up in a place like that. I do think Deion trying to play games against Colorado State, and he tried to do this with Syracuse too. I don't see any scenario where that picks up any steam at all.
I love it, though. I love the idea. And I think Lane Kiffin, I think this is a ridiculous move on his part. I thought it was ridiculous when Texas did it last year. Ohio State realized the pushback last year when they tried to change the wording or the phrasing or whatever they were going to do. Todd Monken said it yesterday when he was talking about the Browns and their quarterbacks. You can only tell so much about a quarterback from 7-on-7 and from practices and this and that. You don't get to see their athletic ability and their escapability and how they really handle things with a real rush and a real threat of something. And you can practice all you want and you can set up game situations all you want, but there is nothing like playing a real football game. And I understand the spring game isn't a real football game anymore. The point of, well, they'll see tape on our players. They already have it. Get out of here in this day and age. They already know. They already have it. And then the injury thing, well, yeah, they can happen, but they can also happen on a slant route in practice.
You can't be scared of playing football.
They can also, yes, when you're scared is when you're going to get hurt. And that goes back to the point that even in practice, they can still get hurt, but also practice isn't a game. And if you think you can control it in practice, then you're not seeing truly what these guys can do in a game-like situation.
We're a long way. Well, let's do a little pop quiz. Do either of you guys remember the name Dan Kendra? Does that mean anything to you?
No.
Florida State? Is that right?
Yeah. He was the
recruit.
He was National High School Player of the Year in the 90s out of Pennsylvania. Quarterback kid, 5-star kid, recruited to Florida State. He was going to follow, I think he was set up to either follow Charlie Ward or Danny Cannell. And in those days, FSU finished in the top 4 every year for 14 years in a row, like they weren't doing anything. And they played a spring game, and this was like the unveiling of Danny Kendra. And they played an actual game, and they hit and kept score and all. And that probably happened here, too. I'm guessing that was the way that it was here, right? With Coop and early Tress. Like, when did it become like a choreographed, like, sort of try thing? Like, that was much later in it. It was a true game. Well, Dan Kendra, and look, I mean, this could have happened in practice, to your guys' point. Dan Kendra blew out his Achilles in the spring game at FSU, and that flipped it in the moment. That now all of a sudden it became colored jerseys, hands off quarterbacks. Nobody touches the quarterback. Nobody gets near the quarterback. And it kind of derailed. He never recovered from it. I think he ended up a Navy SEAL or something. It's actually a pretty crazy story what happened to him. He transitioned into a fullback, kind of became addicted to weightlifting, and I want to say he did something in the military. But those type of injuries are so few and far between, to the point where I still remember that one. I wasn't even in Tallahassee at that point. I just remember that as a kid in high school or college, hearing the story of him going down with an Achilles and thinking, oh my gosh, like, how do you recover from that in a stupid spring game? They're always going to be around here because here we do a great job of monetizing them. And to Bake's point, when we tried even changing the nomenclature around the name of it, not having it. We're not having it. So, like, you need to have the spring game. It's the unofficial start of spring in Central Ohio. You're going to continue to have it. You do it safely. You make money. You take care of your big guys. Jeremiah gets to run a go once or twice. Julian gets to throw it as far as he can once or twice. And that's it. You get in, you get out, and you're done. Nobody who's going to be in the mix is going to be put in harm's way, and I hope that part of it never changes. I really do.
Tyvus tells a great story of one spring game where they made Cardell Jones live. And to hear him light up about how they were able to try to light up Cardell is incredible. Next time you're on with Bone and Tyvus, I'll see if I can get him to tell it on the air. But
that's incredible.
Just shouting "Cardell's live" is hilarious. And it's moments like that. They're just this isn't really serious. We're just having fun here because who's going to go up against Cardell Jones?
How about the fact, Reese? I mean, just think about this: that the opinion of Cardell Jones was, yeah, he's live, you can hit him. And then in short order, he's the quarterback in the national championship team.
It's incredible.
Like, that's one of the most
all-time Ohio
stories.
State stories, yeah.
It really is.
Also, good luck.
Exactly.
Could you imagine? I would like to see Tyvus and Cardell go head-on-head 10 times and see who wins that.
I'm going to take 23. I'm going to take 23 on that. Especially now. Now he's like an outside linebacker.
Well, now, yeah. I mean, now I wouldn't want that for either of them.
Did you see Cardell on the sidelines at the Aviators game?
I did. He looks good.
Big boy.
Cardell looks good. Yeah, they look good. Speaking of NIL, you guys found this, a very interesting thing happening in the Big Ten Conference in terms of NIL, and who's going to pay for it? We'll get to that story coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2026 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to relaunch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes going above and beyond. We are calling on you to help us recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in your community to be recognized on 10 TV and The Fan. Send in your nominations and stories to 10tv.com/raisetheroof. 10tv.com/raisetheroof. Nominate a local hero today and help us raise the roof for those who make a difference.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple: to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Aviators football returns Friday, April 17th, 8 p.m. kickoff. The first 5,000 fans through the gates take home a free team flag. Grab your tickets now at uflaviators.com. United we fly.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. At Germain Toyota of Columbus, it's all about you, your drive, your style, and your budget. Stop in and see Marcello. He'll get you rolling. Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or check them out online at germaintoyota.net.
The weather in Central Ohio just got better, so why shouldn't your loan rate? CME Federal Credit Union wants to try to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Plus, enjoy no payments for 90 days on car loans and no payments for 60 days on motorcycles, boats, and more. With car rates as low as 4.99% APR and toy rates starting at 6.5% APR, it's the perfect time to save. Apply today at cmefcu.org. Terms apply. Minimum floor rates 4.99% APR cars, 6.50% APR other vehicles. Federally insured by NCUA.
Rothman and Ice.
So who's the source of this? One of those sites I go to.
Is it okay?
I don't know. You better clarify which site is it.
Clip that.
Okay.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies with increasing clouds throughout the day and a chance of showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon and early evening. Daytime highs will soar with breezy winds into the mid-70s, and then for tonight, partly cloudy overnight with our lows in the 40s. For Saturday, more sunshine in the forecast, but cooler with daytime highs topping out in the mid to upper 60s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 80 years. Sawmill, Easton. Go there. They'll take care of you. Tell them your Uncle Bo sent you. You guys found this. I did not see this story this morning. I didn't see it. I don't know how I didn't, but I didn't. And the story comes from Madison, Wisconsin. And the story is as follows. The bill is called Assembly Bill 1034, which provides $14.6 million in debt service for UW-Madison athletics facilities and formalizes and codifies NIL rights for University of Wisconsin athletes, was signed into law on April 8th by the governor. The law allows for resources to be reinvested into long-term sustainability of Wisconsin athletics as the department navigates an unprecedented era of volatility in college sports. Here is the quote from the chancellor. We're deeply thankful for Governor Evers and the state legislature for this bipartisan passage. The support is critical as UW-Madison navigates an increasingly uncertain college sports landscape while maintaining our unwavering commitment to be competitive excellence, education, and broad-based opportunities. Here's the thing I never understand with any of this, and I don't begrudge anybody getting what that they're owed or what the market is allowing for them, and I'm not talking about players. Nobody ever talks about giving money back from coaches and administrators. Nobody. Those monies just keep going up and up and up and up, and guaranteed contracts being, upon firing, being paid without a blink of the eye. And we have to continue to find money for NIL. To the point, like if I'm reading this right, and I believe that I am, Wisconsin taxpayers are going to fund the NIL at the University of Wisconsin?
Yeah.
What a joke.
I mean,
at least part of it, they're going to fund it.
That's outrageous. That is outrageous.
The legislation recognizes Wisconsin athletics' role as an economic engine for the state. Where have we heard that verbiage before? Wow. the major state university. I mean, you talk about the famous Bowden quote about how it's the front porch.
Yeah.
For the university in Ohio State. Because when I see this, I go, okay, it's going to spread. All it takes is one state to do it. And then you start to see it pop up in others. And I wonder, are we close to similar language and legislation here? And how that would go over. Because the argument, again, if they're making the argument, and they clearly made the argument well enough that it passed through to where the governor of Wisconsin signed it. $14.6 million annually from taxpayers. And I wonder just, would that force Wisconsin's NIL or whoever's, I guess, funneling the money? I don't know if that's the right word, but do all the books then get opened? Do we start learning about deals for their quarterback? Because if it's taxpayer money.
Great question.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I just curious, to your point, I can tell you what the chancellor at Wisconsin makes. The base salary is just under $900,000, but with the total compensation for this year, it'll be well over $1 million will be the total compensation for her by the time you do retention bonuses and such. So who decided that in higher learning, administrators need to make $1 million a year?
Look at Luke Fickell.
Right.
He just got a raise to lose football games. Now, I know that's not what they want in the long run, but that's what they've done with him there. I think this is so crazy because, Bo, it's hard for us. It's hard for us, and it's hard for people that listen to this station to fathom. But there's a lot of people out there that don't give a rip about sports.
No, they don't.
There's a lot of people in Wisconsin that don't care about Badger football or basketball. There's a lot of people in Columbus, Ohio, that go do their grocery shopping.
Easy before you finish that sentence. Or
go buy cars on Saturdays where Ohio State are playing because they know the foot traffic is going to be less. There are 342 million people in the United States, and we talk about the numbers the NFL do, like 45, 50 million on some of these games.
Right.
That's a whole lot of people that still didn't watch. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole lot of people that probably definitely do not want their tax dollars going to stuff like this.
This also, 100% correct. It also tells you why, whether you have an executive order, and we've had two, whether you've had legislation on Capitol Hill, and we did the unthinkable and praised Tommy Tuberville for some of his thoughts on what that could be. But even that, as clean as that appears to be from the outside looking in, okay, 5 years to play 5, you're 19, you got to be done by 24, all of those things. But you poked a very good hole in that just yesterday, Bake, in terms of the 5 years to play 5. And you think about the religious thing that they wanted in there, or something with spouses and all, anytime you have any exception, you're going to allow for it to be challenged. But even that stuff is hard for anything to hold water in. Now all of a sudden you have states, this is codified in their state law now. So this is what Wisconsin is doing. The Wisconsin taxpayers are now doing this. Like, how does this get signed off on? I just have such a hard time wrapping my head around how this got done there. And it also tells you just how complicated it will be if there ever is going to be NCAA legislation on this, or even federal legislation on this, how difficult this is going to be to get some sort of lasso around it, because this stuff is in state law now. That's what started all of this. It was in the South with Florida and Alabama and Georgia that had this stuff in state law about NAL so that they could be competitive at the highest level. How the heck are you going to put this genie back in the bottle?
Imagine being a Minnesota alumni who lives in the state of Wisconsin.
Right.
And you're like, excuse me?
Come again?
I already don't like what my government's been doing with half the money that I give it. Now I got to donate to the enemy? That's blasphemous. It's very easy to be cynical with this kind of stuff because I see this coming in Ohio.
You guys know how much I love government being involved in sports anyway. And now they're going to take my money without my... It's one thing. And I hate it. I hate that Ohio State does things to raise money from the fans and ask the fans for money to pay for their football roster. But if you choose to do that, that is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
That is your choice. If you want to give your hard-earned dollars to the Ohio State football program, whether it be something directly that's going to go to NIL, or whether you want to do that and spend your money to buy tickets or merchandise or whatever it is, that is your choice.
Yep.
This is taking away the choice. And I definitely dislike that.
And then what from Wisconsin state budget is losing $14.6 million annually? Because it's not like they're just flush with cash.
Nothing is. They're just going to add it to they're going to increase taxes to cover this.
Yep.
Well, the other thing that's going to come with this, you mentioned, Reese, I think you mentioned like opening up the books on what are these monies found for, or what went to whom. Like that's the thing that happens when you do stuff like this. You do have to open up the books and say, well, how did you spend that money? And then you talk about what's your ROI on that as a taxpayer. Badger football, putting you in a good mood on us, and there's value to that. I'm not diminishing it. Like when you're in these northern climates, you need something to look forward to. You do. You need something on the weekends to look forward to. You need something to get you through the winters. College football isn't exactly that, but it's something you do in the fall. It's a rite of passage in a lot of these places. And Madison is a special place, and it means a lot to folks at Wisconsin. And I'm sure for them, what makes this even somewhat able to swallow it is the reality is they have not been good at football for a good while now. And they've watched as Iowa's continued to win. They watched Indiana, for God's sakes, win a national championship. And you're going, well, hold on a second. Indiana, why can't we win a national championship? We got better football than they do over the last 50 years. It's not even close. And we can't sniff it? Well, so if it's just money, let's make sure we have enough. So I understand how it was spun, but this is a slippery slope, man. And the idea that you can't cut other things back to compensate it yourself is just foolish.
And I will say this. There's a lot of things in this world that our tax dollars go to that I don't like. And I don't love that, like the Cleveland Browns are getting a bunch of money from the state of Ohio to build a new stadium. But at least maybe you'll see some return on investment with that, in the fact that it can add things to the community. There'll be people, more things will come to the state of Ohio, this and that. Maybe you can see taxpayers getting some bang for their buck there. Mm-hmm. Just giving NIL to football players, what are you getting out of that?
Imagine, because now it's entered the public money arena, if they just bring on 2 coaching candidates and let the state vote. Like, I can vote for my head coach now.
Isn't that what the governor in Louisiana did?
That's what the guy in Louisiana did. We'll find the $70 million to buy out Brian Kelly. Nothing to see here.
Boy, I said I run the state, and
talk about Luke Fickell getting impeached.
That's right.
The Badgers don't win more Big Ten games next season.
The idea that Foghorn Leghorn is the governor of Louisiana will never not be funny to me. That wins every single time. Speaking of Foghorn Leghorn, my guess is Tim May enjoyed him a great deal. He'll join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I love my Kubota tractor, RTV, and zero-turn I got from Green & Sons, and you can check them out online at greenandsons.com or visit them in store in Mount Sterling or north of Marysville in Raymond for all your Kubota needs.
We're hiring at Don's Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at donsgaragedoors.com.
Fall is a season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Get Eco.
ECO. When your drain is clogged, our drain team will clear it for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it will stay clear for at least a year, or we'll clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
ECO. Go to geteco.com.
Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at The Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, is voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on the Fan's YouTube channel and 10 TV+.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Reese's mustache is so nice, it has its own area code. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, so Friday at 10:30. Fridays at 10:30, we visit with Tim May, the Tim May Show with Play Hall on FanStream Sports, and right here at the Fan, he joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Have you ever been to the Masters?
Covered it in 1984, Ben Crenshaw's first win. And as I've said a million times, it's rare that a place you've dreamed of getting to go to at some point. You definitely dream of playing, but that won't happen, I'm sure. But exceeds your expectations, and this was in 1984. So I probably walked the course over that week. I had to cover it because Bob Baptist, I think his wife was graduating, Miss Vicky was graduating from college or something, and they sent me down there, and they didn't have to ask twice. And but I probably walked the course, Bo. Probably walked the course about 8 or 10 times, probably 8 times the entire course. But I'll never forget because the Saturday round had to be finished on Sunday, if I remember correctly. And so there was no internet or Twitter or anything like that. So I was under no deadline except to get my story done after the day was over. But I went down and sat in Amen Corner and watched those guys go through for like 3 hours to finish that, or 2.5 hours to finish that third round. And it was just, Amen Corner on a Sunday morning when the choirs quit singing and everything's quiet.
Jeez, come on.
And the roars are coming. Yeah.
Tim,
it's a special, and that's what, 42 years ago.
Here's the other thing about that, though, and this is important for the kids to understand. In those days, you never saw the front nine. Ever.
Oh, TV.
On television.
That's right.
That didn't happen until the 90s where you actually got to see the front nine. So the only thing you'd ever seen as a boy was the back nine at Augusta. They showed that on Sundays on CBS. That's it. They did not show you the front of the course. So now we have in our mind's eye, and I'm sure everybody I talk to who's been there recently says it exceeds even your wildest expectations now. But now we've seen a lot of it. Like my kid's got a video game. They can play it on the video game. When you went in 84, the only thing you'd ever seen was the back nine.
Yeah. And the other thing, heck, I can remember watching it as a little kid, growing up in Alabama and in Texas, in the 60s and 70s watching. I think they only showed the last 2 holes for a while. You know what I mean? It was like, because I think CBS has been doing this thing forever, seemingly, but they only showed like the last couple of holes. And then I remember they expanded. I'm trying to remember. They only showed like the last hour or so, and then it went to 2 hours. You thought, what a bonus!
Yeah.
And then now, of course, if you've got like Amazon Prime, I was watching it yesterday. I forgot it was on there, and I'm going, man, do I have to pay for ESPN Plus now? No, I didn't. But you understand? I mean, that is not. Let me put it this way: that has not changed the mystique of the place at all for me. The fact I can watch it all day.
Me either.
And but I understood they were big on the live crowd back then and everything else because almost all your revenue came from the people who came through the turnstiles, just like in the NFL and everywhere else. They couldn't show home games and if they weren't sellouts and all that kind of. So I understood it protecting it then, but now they make so much money off just television. You can almost do it with no patrons.
Well, all the money comes off the merch.
Oh,
they make $70 million. Tim, they make $10 million a day on the merch.
Dude,
that's fact. $10 million a day on the merch.
I saw that the other day, and I'm just going, because I've worked in the U.S. Open the last 4 years. The last 3 were in the merchandise, and I thought merchandise, but I really enjoy it because I do different things, stock to, checkouts and everything else. Work 4 hours and then go watch golf. But the point is, last year at Oakmont was just a crush. The year before that at Pinehurst number 2, but Pinehurst was a crush. I mean, people going in there and buying, checking somebody out who had like a $4,800 bill. You know, because that's the one time it's come into town over the next 8 or 10 years. You better get in there and get your stuff. But most of the people, I mean, I've met people at the U.S. Open from Columbus who recognize me for some reason. And every year, L.A., Brookline, Pinehurst, and, of course, last year at Oakmont, it's just stunning how much money is going through and a guy estimated for me last year that they figured that it was going to do about $45 to $48 million merch for the week.
Just merch.
I said, I believe it.
Man.
That's what we've gotten into, Bo.
Yeah. Athleisure. Athleisure merch. It pays off, my friend, in a very, very big way. Is
Peter
the biggest
Millar merch. Go ahead.
Is the biggest thing that most people I talk to have been there, and you said you walked it a bunch of times. Most people say it's a lot hillier than you realize. And I think the same is true of Muirfield. Like if people only see Muirfield on TV and then you go walk it, you're like, oh, quite a bit different.
Well, both of these things are similar in the sense they kind of built Muirfield around a creek, or around a waterway. Now, Muirfield is a residential golf course. This one isn't, of course. Yeah. I'm talking about Augusta National, but it's built on a side hill leading down basically to Rays Creek. So you could make it as flat or as hilly as you wanted to. And was it Alistair McKenzie, whoever the guy was with Bobby Jones, they made it as hilly as they could. And what really gets you is how so much stuff is on the side hill. You know what I mean? Yeah. Meaning, you got canted fairways that you got to pay attention to. If you hit it so far, it's going to run down the hill, et cetera. And so that's what really sets it apart. The walk is I almost said a bad word there. The walk is tough. Yeah. Especially, that's what gets me. These guys are in pretty good shape when you think about it. What gets me every time is if it ever goes to overtime or, extra holes, sudden death, these guys are in great shape to be able to play like 19, 20, 21 holes, in a span of like 5 hours, 5.5 hours. That's in great shape.
Yes, it certainly is. We were talking a little bit about Lane Kiffin this week. He canceled the spring game at LSU and cited, look, there's no point in it from the standpoint of I don't want more people to see our players, and that was in the old idea where they had the second portal window. And then he said, look, with what we're investing in this roster, we don't need any injuries to happen in this thing. Meantime, you got Deion Sanders. He wants to play an actual game against Colorado State. Ohio State's somewhere in the middle, right? They're not exactly playing a game, but they're still calling it the spring game, and so you'll get some football-like stuff, but then it's a big fundraiser for the Buckeyes. When you look into the future in terms of what this thing could look like in the next 3 to 5 years, what do you see?
Hodgepodge, just like you've got now. I mean, meaning different guys have different takes on it. I mean, you don't want to lose your starting quarterback in a spring game, but I saw that happen at Ohio State in 1984. When Mike Tomczak had the 2 bones broken in his lower leg. Anyway, one of the great comebacks. He came back and played every game in the fall. Crazy. So you don't want that to happen. But dude, you can get hurt in football practice. I mean, we watched I always like Student Appreciation Day only because I get to see more football. And you had ones against ones at times, ones versus twos. But the point is, there are guys competing for jobs, and they go thud on some of them, and some of them they go live. They don't go live all day, just like tomorrow or next Saturday. They're not going to go live all day or even close to it, and the quarterbacks will probably be in black jerseys, meaning if you hit these guys, you may lose your revenue share. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
But you've got Ryan Day has said this in so many words. Reps, quality reps are so precious in terms of the few you get, even all the way up to the start of a season, including preseason camp. You have to practice smart, but you also finally have to practice real football. And I know there are a few people that don't do that and have been famous for it, but for the most part, you've got to practice real football because you got to see who your real football players are, if you follow my drift. And now, the good thing for Ohio State is they open with Ball State, not Texas this year, and they play at Texas. So that will be a lot of slobber knocking going on in that game. I anticipate, but yeah, you don't want to lose. It's like the Masters. You can't win the Masters in the first round, but you can sure as heck play your way out of contention. Robert McIntyre yesterday, insert name here. Bryson DeChambeau probably. We'll see what he does today.
We'll see.
But no, I mean, but you can definitely work toward winning with these quality reps. And I know that sounds like coach speak, but it's right. Unless you see things like in auto racing, unless you practice finally as fast as that car can go, you don't know what that car can do. And eventually you have to practice as fast as the car can go. But you do not, in any respect, put your quarterbacks in jeopardy, especially your Heisman Trophy finalist quarterback in jeopardy for a spring bonanza, extravaganza, whatever they're going to call it.
All right, I'm going to get you out of here on this one. You mentioned auto racing, and I know that you love the F1 and IndyCar mostly, of course. But which is better, Rush or F1? Which movie's better? So Rush is Niki Lauda and all that in the late 70s.
I liked Rush because it was based on a real thing that happened, and I thought it was very well done. I think Ron Howard made that movie, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
I liked it, but I liked the actual technical car stuff. Like I always said about Top Gun, the original.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to put a love story in it? I mean, it was so lame.
You just like the planes.
Great. Yeah, but then the latest Top Gun Maverick, I like it because but most folks out there, like that 5th generation fighter they showed they were going against with an F-14. Most people have no idea what an F-22 can do, and it's not even 5th generation. I mean, the stuff you can do with this equipment now is nuts. And then a guy on the ground, like what happened in in Iran the other day, a guy on the ground can take a pot shot and take you out anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
With a rifle.
Crazy.
So if you hit a vital spin, I think anything you hit on a plane now is vital to it. But I liked F1 the movie with Brad Pitt. I didn't like some of the way it was structured, but I liked the fact that they did try to teach a person who doesn't have any clue about what F1's all about a little bit about how technical and how fast those cars are.
Yeah, both were good.
By the way, about fast, I mean how fast they can slow down and how fast they can go around corners. Indy cars are still, the premier pure speed car in terms of the Indy 500 and oval races.
Yeah, good stuff, buddy. Look, we touched it all. A little bit of football, a little bit of racing, a little bit of Masters. That's a win for everybody. Have a good weekend, buddy.
Bo, thanks for checking my resume out and asking me the right questions. Appreciate it.
I do what I can. That's Tim May of the Tim May Show with Clay Hall on FanStream Sports and right here on The Fan on a Friday. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You've heard me talk about High Bank's award-winning spirits, but let's talk about the food. High Bank delivers incredible meals and handcrafted cocktails in a space that works for every part of your week. Start with happy hour, drinks with friends, come back for brunch worth planning your weekend around, then stay for dinner. And get this, kids eat half off every Monday. Great food, award-winning drinks, a reason to come back time and time again. Make a reservation today at a location near you at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Head to Capitol Ford in Whitehall and drive home a brand new F-150
F-150, Explorer, Bronco, or Mustang today. Don't wait for Uncle Sam to decide how you spend your tax refund. Spend it on a Built Ford Tough Ride you've been dreaming about. Get to Capital Ford at Columbus and Whitehall or visit CapitalFordAtColumbus.com today.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
How many different ways can you consume morning juice? Let's see. Live on YouTube, live on the Fans HD3 podcast on demand, and on 10 TV Plus. And we'll send by you right to your house.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
The Fan.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Hey folks, it's Jeremy Birmingham. Berm here from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. After hitting maintenance with Awaken 180, I kind of thought that was the whole deal. All right, cool. Don't be an idiot now. Don't gain it back. Stay under 200 pounds. That was the win. But then maintenance did something I really didn't expect. I lost another 5 pounds for free. I'm now down 40 pounds, further under 200, and that's the part about Awaken 180 that still cracks me up a little bit. Because people hear maintenance and think it means barely hanging on, eating celery in the dark and trying not to blow it. That's not this. I'm eating pizza. I can have ice cream. I'm living like a normal person. The difference is I'm not fighting myself all day, or if I'm wondering what one weekend away from the plan could ruin the whole thing. Awaken 180 just didn't help me lose the weight. It taught me how to live in a way where I'm not headed right back to where I started. The last 5 pounds in free maintenance, that tells you everything. Awaken180weightloss.com. Go there now and give it a chance and see how it can help you take control of your life and your health the way it did for me. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the Master Griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
On Thursday, the NFL announced its 16 draft attendees for April 23rd in Pittsburgh. You got 5 Buckeyes: Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Caden McDonald, Carnell Tate are going to be live at Acrisure Stadium. Adam Schefter says Fernando Mendoza will not be attending, so he can remain at home in Miami and be with his family. Thing or not a thing?
Not a thing for me. I don't really care who's there or who's not. It's funny. I love the draft for the results. I know that from a television production, you need to have guys there because you can interview them, and it's probably going to be a hell of a good time for the Buckeyes. The 5 Buckeyes that are going, 4 of them are going to go in the top 10, and then Caden will go somewhere in the teens or early 20s is kind of the feeling on that, or even if he slips to the second round. I mean, that's a fun Thursday night for those guys to get together in Pittsburgh and hang out in the green room, and I'm sure Coach Day will be there and the position coaches will be there. I'm sure Threes will be over there, so all of that stuff is really cool for them. But selfishly for me, I don't care if players are there or not. It doesn't change my enjoyment of watching the NFL draft.
Yeah, I don't think it changes anything for me either, and it actually has made for some pretty awkward moments over the years with like Brady Quinn falling and Aaron Rodgers falling and all of that. But I do think it's cool for these Buckeyes, and I wonder if the NFL was like, hey, you guys, we know the Buckeyes will people want to see them. People want to hear from them. I wonder if the NFL asked them specifically, like, tried to get them to come over there. But I think it's cool that all 5 of them will be there so they can all kind of share in each other's moment. And for Buckeye fans, it'll be cool to see, but I don't think it changes the viewing experience anyway.
It's a bad job out of me saying Fernando Mendoza is going to be at home with his family in Miami. He's going to do that, but not to mention that Ty Simpson, one of those 16 draft attendees. Thing or not a thing?
He's going to be a first rounder. So I think that he will be. I think it'll be fine for him to be there. I'll be curious to see if he is somebody who goes to a team that needs a quarterback or goes to a team that wants to develop one. Like you see, a team like the Rams sitting there. There are teams with some older quarterbacks. Would somebody want, like, boy, here's a chance to get an elite talent that now we can kind of mold, kind of Packers way, have him sit for a year or two and then grow into the job. But I think that's a thing. I mean, I think he's going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up being a first rounder as well. You mentioned a team like the Rams, and that's interesting, but I don't think that would be something they do at 13. I think that would be something that maybe they would trade back into the end.
Sure.
And if you see someone that's like, hey, we are going to need a quarterback in a year or two, and they're interested in Ty Simpson, I think it will be a trade back into the first round type deal. Will it be the Jets 16 or later? Will it be the Cardinals later on? Who knows? It'll be very interesting. But I'm with you, Bo. There are some people out there, some whispers now about a fall for him, but I don't think so. I think he's going to end up going in the first round.
13 days to the first round of the draft. On Thursday, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport said the Jacksonville Jaguars expect Travis Hunter to be a full-time corner and part-time receiver next year. Rappaport adds Hunter is expected to be a full participant in training camp as he continues to recover from the LCL tear that ended his 2025 campaign. Hunter saw 45 targets, caught 28 balls for 298 yards and a touchdown last season. He saw 324 total snaps on offense compared to just 162 on defense. Thing or not a thing?
There's a lot to be critical of with the Browns and the way that they've managed things through the last few years, and certainly at the quarterback position, the Watson thing didn't work out the way that they wanted. The trading of this pick for those assets may end up being one of the great heists. Not to say that Travis Hunter is not going to be a very good corner in the NFL, but in order to justify what Jacksonville gave up, they need him to be like the guy who coached him in college to justify it. And I don't think he's going to get there. Most people last year thought he was further ahead and could make a bigger impact at receiver than he could at corner because of his explosiveness, and we didn't see that last year. So there is a ton of pressure on them and on him, and to me, when you think about what the Browns got for this, looks like a pretty big win for them.
I don't think this is much of a thing because I think this is the way almost everybody thought it was going to be with him. And you mentioned Dion. Dion was a full-time cornerback and a part-time wide receiver. And I think it makes sense that he had more snaps on offense last year because it's easier to come in the league and participate at the wide receiver position than it is at the cornerback position. I believe. I just, this isn't a thing to me because this was always the path for him. A full-time cornerback and then a situational use on offense.
Speaking to reporters on Thursday after hitting the ceremonial tee shot, Gary Player was asked about Tiger Woods' recent DUI and car crash. Quote, do I blame him for taking medicine? Hell no. He has sleep deprivation. Do I blame him for taking something to help him sleep? No, but I don't think he should drive a car. When you're taking that medicine, it's dangerous when you're driving a car. Same as it's dangerous when you look at your cell phone in the car. End quote. Thing or not a thing?
I'm going to go not a thing. These luminaries, they got to do this media, and then the golf media asks them all of the questions in golf. So in addition to this, Gary Player talked about rolling back the golf ball 60 yards on the PGA Tour, that it could only go so far. So they get asked about all of these things, and then you got to answer them. I don't really have much of a view on what a 90-year-old guy, as sharp as he still is, thinks about what Tiger did or did not do, or what what knowledge he has on what Tiger was medicated on or what he was doing. Who knows? But this is kind of what happens when these guys. I mean, the same thing happened with Jack. Like, he goes up there and answers a bunch of questions, and they pepper him on everything that's happening in the world of golf because their opinion is wanted on all of it.
Yeah, I think this isn't a thing because I think what Gary Player said is the correct response to all of this. I don't think anyone blames Tiger Woods for being on prescription medication. if it was prescribed by a doctor. It's the fact that you're choosing to get behind the wheel. The one thing I will say here about this comment from Gary Player is sleep deprivation. I'm guessing like Tiger is on medicine for more than sleep deprivation. And if it's sleep deprivation medicine, why is he taking it in the middle of the day?
Yeah, because
that makes it sound that makes it all sound way more ridiculous. And well, what the hell is Tiger doing taking sleep deprivation medication in the middle of the day? But everything else Gary Player said is spot on. Like, you can't blame Tiger for taking the medicine, but don't get behind the wheel, dude.
Yeah, no, pretty simple. Final hour of the week, we will check in with Porty coming up at 11:30 on the Jackets. We kick it off with what we learned. And coming up at 11:17, an old buddy of mine, Dan Fronzac from Channel 10, he has a story about the time he played Augusta National. So we'll share that story with you coming up with Dan coming up at 11:18. Final hour on a Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. Get your day started with T-Bone and Tybus weekday mornings from 6 to 9 here on the Fan. You think that a radio lifer and a national title winner wouldn't have much in common, but you'd be wrong. They're both girthy, they both love football, and they both get racially profiled for completely different reasons. It's like driving to work with your friends, except these friends give away tickets to things and talk to all the important people in town. Your actual friends are probably a bunch of losers. Well, anyway, listen to T-Bone and Tybus live on the Fan app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Put more money back in your pocket this spring with special rates as low as 8.99% APR on debt consolidation loans from BMI FCU. Transfer your high-interest credit cards today. Apply at bmifcu.org/consolidate.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later.
Sound familiar, Dale?
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house. It's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you feel embarrassed, trapped, maybe even ashamed just because you own a timeshare? Well, I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Chuck McDowell here, the timeshare cancellation guy. I get over 3,000 complaints a week from all kinds of folks that feel the same way you do. Honest people, teachers, veterans, grandparents, all losing sleep over a timeshare they can't get rid of. That's why 15 years ago, I founded Wesley Financial Group to help people take their lives back. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we would want our own family to be treated. That mindset has helped us cancel over 50,000 timeshares from people just like you. So if you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-981-4455. That's 800-981-4455. 800-981-4455.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. As a longtime homeowner, I know how it goes when it comes to things that need to be fixed around the house and you just haven't gotten to them. Like maybe that leaky faucet that always has a drip. You think about it, but you never take care of it, and now it's just a part of the house. It's character. Maybe it's your windows that are always sticking and you can't get them open. So you just don't think about it. Who cares? Except now the weather's nice. You want to open the windows, and again, you can't because they're not fixed. Get new windows from Window Nation. They've made it easy to get top quality custom fit windows with their "the more you buy, the more you save" sale. You could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. Did you know investing in your home is actually one of the best investments you can make, especially in uncertain times? Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. Energy efficient, beautiful windows from Window Nation with great deals going on now. Schedule your free consultation at windownation.com.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Spring into savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, drive your new Hyundai with payments as low as $94 per month for a 2-year lease. Get spring lease savings on every model from Elantra to Palisade. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glexhyundai.com. With approved credit. Payment on 2060 Elantra SC. $39.95 down plus tax title first month's payment. 7,500 miles per year and $430.
Pelotonia has proven there are no limits to community impact. We've raised more than $339 million for innovative cancer research at the James at Ohio State. Now, new routes let anyone be part of Ride Weekend. Mountain biking, trail running, and hiking join Gravel Day. And Pelotonia Kids welcomes our youngest riders because there's only one finish line that matters: ending cancer. Register today.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Rory McIlroy shares the lead at 5 under as the second round of the 90th Masters rolls along. The defending champ will begin his Friday at 1:45. Sam Burns is also 5 under. He'll go around 12:30. 3 golfers are 2 back at 3 under. Wyndham Clark's 3 off the lead at 2 under. He's through 10 on the day. In baseball Friday, the Reds host the LA Angels at 6:45. Cincinnati split a series in Miami this week. Reds are 8-5 on the year. The Guardians begin a series in Atlanta tonight versus the Braves at 7:15. Both of those teams also 8-5. In the NHL, the Blue Jackets were shut out in Buffalo last night 5-0. CBJ have 3 to play and trail the Flyers by 2 points for third in the Metro. Ottawa's 4 points better than Columbus in the wild card. That's out of reach. Blue Jackets wrap the 3-game road trip Saturday in Montreal. They'll host Boston on Sunday. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted best local credit union for the last 8 years by CBUS Top Picks. Visit bmifcu.org to learn more.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Friday edition of the program. Let's see what we learned, gentlemen.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Make a reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
I think if you, not all things you learn are pleasant. Often in life, you learn things that are not. And I think we learned something this week that was not for those of us here in the 614, and that is that Michigan is really interested in being great at basketball. And their financial might that's behind their roster from last year ain't going anywhere. And we'll get into this a little bit later in about 20 minutes from now, but they went big into the portal, landed a big-time player out of Tennessee, another big, and their Cadeau's coming back as well. They had a big recruiting weekend, and Michigan is here to stay. We watched them win a national championship on Monday night, and in football and in basketball terms, at least, they aren't going anywhere, and they're going to continue. Thank God that Denver beat them in hockey. I mean, we didn't need that too, but they're not going anywhere in basketball. They're going to continue to invest in a big way. Dusty May sold them on a vision. They bought it, and he's paying big dividends for them in year 2, winning a national title. And most of the preseason stuff you look at for next year, the way too early stuff has them sitting there at number 1 in the country. Quite honestly, they ought to be. I'm guessing he's going to fight to keep Mara. Cadeau's already back. Big-time recruit committed to him over the weekend with the Fab Five. They're set up, and it's something we're going to have to get used to. And then you have to make the decision. We talked about this Tuesday on the show. Tuesday morning, you have to make the decision as Buckeyes, do you want to be on that level? Because what it's going to take is a lot of financing, and then you have to make sure that you can land the plane with the staff and the support and the GM and everything else. But right now, they are head, shoulders, and entire body ahead of you when it comes to men's basketball.
Yeah, I had this written down from earlier in the week. So Michigan beats UConn by 6 in the title tilt Monday. Huskies were 1 for 9 when they challenged Mara. So you can't make shots from beyond the arc. Huskies were like 13 minutes or something like that without making, or missed 13 straight. and then they couldn't go inside. I mean, Dusty May put together the ultimate group of mercenaries, and that's totally fine to do, and he's going to continue that. They got the J.P. Estrella from Tennessee, and if they, they're able to keep Cadeau, and if Mara does return to Michigan, they're right back there. And for Ohio State, I do think you can be just as competitive as Michigan while maintaining your competitive excellence in football. I do believe that that's there.
Yeah, if Michigan, they bring in Estrella, Cadeau's coming back. If Mara and Johnson both return, oh my goodness. Oh boy. Because Johnson's one of those bigs that maybe doesn't have to score all the time, but he affects the game in a lot of different ways with the way he plays. And it's also, again, I don't know if them getting Estrella and getting Cadeau and all that stuff situated is just more money or what, but it's a little disappointing that they just played a national championship game and they're making moves and you haven't really heard. You've heard of a couple Zoom meetings for Ohio State on the basketball side of things, but no additions yet, no crystal balls yet to the Buckeyes. And again, I think the Buckeyes they're going to be okay. And I think this Michigan national championship is going to push them to add more resources or find more resources, as they said, for the basketball program. I just don't know if it's going to be enough.
No, because you can look straight south of us in Lexington, and you can see that it didn't for them. They spent more than Michigan did on their roster. They paid for the same thing. They went as big as you could, and they fell flat on their face. They won one game. So this is it's a crazy time. It truly is on the college side of things. And so, but one thing we know, and I think we learned it this week, is that this was no fluke, that they're going to view themselves as a college basketball power for the foreseeable future. And quite honestly, there aren't many programs in the country. Like if you take the scarlet and gray colored glasses off, there aren't many programs in the country that are in a healthier spot going forward than they are. And that includes Duke. That includes Kentucky. That includes all of them. They are organized, and they got a coach who can deliver at the highest level. I think it was really incredible what he did to get 5 guys who didn't know each other until they got on campus to all row in the same direction the way they did immediately. Immediately, he got them to do that. So great job out of him on that. Unfortunately for us, it's a tough pill to swallow this week. The other thing I think I learned this week, and it's not like I didn't know it, but Augusta and nostalgia, it just continues to work. It works. It comes around this time of year. We always look forward to it. We're on the precipice of spring. We've had crazy weather, one of the most crazy winters we've ever had around here. And the weather's starting to warm, and we've got some nice days. And then you get Augusta, and it still works. And you get Jack, leading it off the way that he does with the ceremonial first drives, and away we go. And now there's a series of events that start to happen. You get this, you get the draft, you get spring game, you get the Memorial Tournament, like all of those things start to happen. And before you know it, you're into summer. So it still hits for me. I was glued to it as much as I could around all the work I did yesterday, but it still delivers in the biggest way possible for me. How about for you guys? What else you learned this week?
Well, I was just going to say about the college basketball transfer portal. On3 says there are 970 players that have gone portaling since it opened on Tuesday. And the funniest thing about the portal for me is the do not contact tag. Like what?
Yes.
What do you mean do not? I'm going to go to the portal, but don't call me. So what?
So it means I'm going to go to the portal, but I know where I'm going.
Huh?
It's prearranged. Wait a second. How did somebody contact you if you weren't in the portal?
None of this makes any sense. And did we have to agree with Tommy Tuberville?
Jeez. We
who
did.
Actually has some sensible college athletic legislation.
Kind of does.
The Student Athlete Act, and then NCAA putting forth new language or putting discussions forward about language that says you got 5 to play 5.
Yeah.
No exceptions to the rule. Is actually sensible and might actually hold up better than anything else that they've tried to put some we talk about guardrails. That might be the most sensible as of this point.
At least they didn't try to do the money thing too, because that's when they fall on their face, when they try to limit what a player can make.
Kind of along those same lines, I think I've learned that I don't know who should be making the decisions to try to lay out groundwork for college sports moving forward, because, Reese, I know you have said the coaches need to be involved with that, and I have said the coaches are not the ones, because the coaches are going to do whatever at all costs to win. It has to be people above the coaches. And now I didn't really have faith in the government to fix it either, but can we even have faith in them when Wisconsin is putting in bills to pay for NIL through taxpayer dollars? Like, who can we trust to go ahead and get this thing fixed? Is it Tommy Tuberville? I don't know, but we can't trust the coaches because they're going to win at all costs. We can't trust the university presidents and the ADs because, well, they want to win too.
Sure.
They're helping for the Trinidad Chamblises to get more years and the Chandler Morrises. And now it can't be the state legislatures either, because they're like, hey, we got to get Wisconsin football back in this. Sorry, taxpayers, we're going to ding you a little bit here.
So about that new bill that was just signed into law on April 8th in Wisconsin, it allocates an additional $200,000 each to UW Milwaukee and the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay's athletic departments. No public money for Doug Gottlieb.
Doug Gottlieb.
We're not doing this.
He's getting money. Good Lord.
Impeach Doug Gottlieb then. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. We also I learned this last night, that my father views a rise in price for a haircut from $8 to $10. That means that you don't get tipped. I did explain to him, you do agree. I said, you are aware that all of it is tips for her and that she owns the building and it's her business. So whatever you're paying her, it's all still the same. Somehow he views that as charming. I said, Dad, I don't know that that's it. I mean, maybe she's been cutting your hair for 40 years. Maybe throw her another extra couple bucks here and there, buddy.
You know, Bo, the older I get, the more I feel like your dad has life right. Not the tips,
I'll tell you what,
but like that old school style of life out there. That
being
might
a jerk?
That might not being a jerk, but that more simplified way of life, and that might be the way to go.
He's tipping 10% on a $10 haircut.
Well, I'm not agreeing with that. I'm just saying your dad's lifestyle seems pretty good the older I get.
I tell you what, Bake, you want to head out there right now? We can get you set up. We're hiring.
There's a reason that people are flocking to Montana.
Just watch Yellowstone. It's exactly like that everywhere.
Less murder, I would hope.
Just gorgeous vistas. Less murder.
I don't have to kill someone, do I?
No. Well, we do have a dump.
You got a dump. They got a train station.
That's right.
Whatever.
We did have a dump. That was a hard thing for my wife to wrap her head around. She's like, what do you do? Do the garbage trucks come? I'm like, no, honey, we have a dump. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, there's a giant hill that you take the garbage with a tractor up to. You drive it up in the hill and you put it in the dump. And then once every month or two, you light it all on fire.
I was going to say, I figured you guys just burned everything.
Yeah, we burned everything. And then when that dump gets full, you fill it in and you dig another hole. That's the process. Sometimes there'd be carcasses in there. Remember as a kid, like going to take the garbage up there and there'd be like a cat that had died and some sort of a barn mishap was in there. And it's like, good Lord, just my kids have no clue. They had no clue. The operation that was done out there. All right. We talked a lot about Augusta this week. My buddy Dan Fronzac worked with him at Channel 10. He has played Augusta, and he did so while he was a sports guy down there. He's going to join us with his tales of his playing round coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The weather in Central Ohio just got better, so why shouldn't your loan rate? CME Federal Credit Union wants to try to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Plus, no payments for 90 days on car loans and 60 days on motorcycles, boats, and more. Go to CMEFCU.org today.
If you love shopping for one-of-a-kind treasures in home decor, home and garden accents, and more, visit Oakland Nursery Specialty Stores, Oakland's home store in Dublin, and Inside and Out in New Albany. Unique only begins to tell this story. Two fabulous stores specializing in eclectic home decor and art. Through innovation and passion, Oakland Nursery has created these two unmatched shopping experiences. Find inspiration for your home at Oakland's home store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron?
Yeah, Jerry?
Something is wrong.
Something's wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Thumping and bumping and jumping.
What is?
But it's not pumping.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry?
Yeah, Aaron.
Are we talking about your sump pump?
Yeah. Isn't it great?
Isn't what great?
I like the sound of it. Sump pump. Sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, can you keep a secret?
Aaron, I'm as silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
I kind of like to say it too.
Hey, I should invent a sump pump that lets you know when it's working.
How would it do that?
It would say, sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
That's a great idea, Jerry, but a sump pump should be exactly like you.
How so?
As silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Get Eco.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in store. We'll bring your groceries right to you in our refrigerated trucks, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save $20 on your first Kroger pickup or delivery order of $75 or more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. It's that time of year where you want to open the windows, but maybe you've got that one window that's always stuck. Oh, and the other window that, you can get it open, but it's harder to get it closed, so you just leave it closed all the time. Get new windows from Window Nation. It's easy and affordable during their More You Buy, the More You Save sale. You could be saving up to 50% off your new windows with Window Nation, plus 0 interest for 5 years. It's always a good time to invest in your home, so visit windownation.com now to book your consultation. Once again, that's windownation.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or give us a call and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies with increasing clouds throughout the day and a chance of showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon and early evening. Daytime highs will soar with breezy winds into the mid-70s, and then for tonight, partly cloudy overnight with our lows in the 40s. For Saturday, more sunshine in the forecast, but cooler with daytime highs topping out in the mid to upper 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. Let's head on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Conversation with my old buddy Dan Fronzac. Worked with Dan at Channel 10. And if I get the chronology of this right, you were in Great Falls, Montana at KRTV, I believe, which was the station I watched as a kid. And then from there, and I've told this story before, that if you work in the Augusta market, you get to play the course. Do I have that right, buddy, in terms of the timeline from Great Falls to Augusta for you?
You got it, man. Hey, good to talk with you. Good
You
to
too,
hear your
brother.
voice.
Let me ask you this. Did you know? Because there were, very little internet in those days. We are reminded how old we are. Were you aware that if you took a job in Augusta, that was a carrot that was out there?
I didn't know. I thought well, first of all, I was told that it was just kind of like a lottery that would get picked. And so to this day, I'm quite certain that I have no idea how I got picked, but I wasn't complaining about it. That's for sure.
I bet not. So you get picked, and then what happens?
Yep. So I get picked. It's on my birthday, which was really cool. So best birthday ever. I'm playing the course, and I'll just skip ahead to Amen Corner. And I'm playing okay. I'm not a great golfer by trade, so I just get out there maybe 3 times a year. So I'm on 12. Okay, it's a par 3, as you well know. Rake Creek's right in front of the green, and I'm a lefty, so I push the ball over, and it goes over by the 11th green. So my first shot, is awful. My second shot, I take a wedge because I just want to plop it in front of Ray's Creek so I can get it over. And I plop it over, and it goes probably about 3 feet in front of Ben Hogan's bridge, the bridge that goes over to the green. And there's a plaque that sits about 1/4 of an inch that protrudes out of the ground. And it says Ben Hogan's Bridge. And so, I take a picture, and then I take my shot. And as I'm swinging, I take the shot, and my ball hits the plaque and leaves a little dent in the plaque. And so I have to be the first person ever to hit that plaque, at least on my third shot. Ever. So I don't know if the dent's still there, but needless to say, I plopped it over on 4 and made the most memorable double bogey of my life on 12. But yes, I am that person. If you get close enough to see the plaque, I am that person who left the dent in Ben Hogan's plaque next to Ben Hogan's Bridge.
That is absolutely spectacular. What were your nerves like? How nervous were you heading into it, or did you have kind of a carefree attitude of like, this is all house money?
Through the roof, man. I was so nervous. I felt so unworthy just to be on the course in general. Any divot that I left, which were a plethora of, I was just, taken aback. Like I am just not supposed to be out here. I don't know why I'm on the course, but it's as beautiful as you see on TV, and even more so. I lived right down the street from it, and for those who don't know, it's just kind of hidden, and it's really not nice around there. I mean, you're right across from like a Waffle House that Tiger would go visit every once in a while.
Right.
But it's
the infamous Hooters too. John Daly's Hooters was there for the longest time.
Exactly. Yep, it's there. But once you get inside the gates, it's magical. It's definitely you and I covered a lot of events, a lot of them together. It was definitely the best event that I've ever covered as a sports broadcaster in my life, for sure. It's memorable.
On the days when they have the lottery and you get to play, is that the Monday after? Is that when that is, or was this a different time in the year when they got you together to play?
No, it's a month later. So the course is still kind of set up the same way, but it's not as, meticulous as far as, what they have set up for the course, and, all the plants and stuff like that necessarily aren't in bloom, but it's still beautiful. But it's about a month later.
Okay. Unbelievable. So you played it the one time. I remember AR and Hogan used to always talk about this too, like at one point in his career, like just taking a job at one of the locals down there to try to be able to play it for like a year. That might actually be worth it.
Oh, yeah. I knew a guy at the NBC affiliate down there, and he just took that job specifically for that reason, hoping he would get picked through the lottery so that he could play that course. So I thought there was no chance in heck that I would get there, because I was only down there a year, and then I came up to 10 TV right after that. So.
Oh, my gosh. And so we have you, and then Smalley's played it, and then Matt Barnes as well.
That's right.
And all of you guys were in that local market.
Yeah, I thought there was somebody, too, from the Dispatch that played as well, but I could be wrong.
Probably. God, that's great, buddy.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for the tale. Appreciate you. Great hearing your voice. I'm sure all is well, and it's great talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, my best to you and your family, though.
There he is, the great Dan Fronzac. Worked with Dan for many years at 10 TV. Incredibly successful entrepreneur and just a great dude. And that's it. So, Bake, that would be the question. Would you take a job board opping in Augusta with the understanding that there's a possibility that you would get to play Augusta National?
That's a tough one.
1 year.
Yeah, for a year? Yeah, I think you could do it for a year, right? With that chance to... I think that would weigh heavily in the decision.
I would say so. Reese, what would be the equivalent for you? Because I know you're not a golfer. What would be the thing that I will do this for 1 year for the chance to do what?
I don't know if there's anything that's like quite the level as playing something like Augusta.
Yeah.
I would probably say if I could work like a WrestleMania, I'd travel with the company for a year.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like that, just a one-off thing, but you have no personal life outside of, I mean, even they do shows on Netflix twice a week, and then they have live events. So I'd do that for a year if I get the chance to do WrestleMania.
People have no idea how much those guys work.
Reese, you could be the next Michael Cole.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
There you go.
Old JR,
By
Jim
God.
Ross.
We were talking about Michigan winning the national title in the portal. We mentioned this earlier. Michigan already getting a portal win. Pete Thamel reporting Tennessee transfer forward J.P. Estrella has committed to Michigan. He's 6'11", 240, and they want to pair him with Mara. They also got Elliot Cadeau to return, so he will return for another year. I saw Dan Hurley really lobbying for Braylon Mullins to return for his sophomore year. That he actually flat out said this. He goes, "You can make more money." He said this on an interview with Dan Patrick Show. "You can make more money playing for us at Connecticut than you can in the NBA."
He's right.
He's probably right.
I have no problem saying that. I have no problem hearing that from him. I have no problem with the Michigan mercenary team. It's all above board.
Yeah, this is where we're at.
I am all for true name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a problem, though, when a kid can make more money playing in college than he can in the pros. I feel like, I don't know if that's on the college side or if that's on the pro side. I don't know where the disconnect is, but that seems like it's not right.
It isn't, but it's also where we're at, and there is no end in sight to it. And, I mean, you just think about how crazy this is. This is a little more than a month ago now when I took Beamsy to Lawrence to watch Kansas on Senior Day, and it was magical. The place is unbelievable. I documented it. But one of the things that Bill Self did on Senior Day is they have this incredible stuff where they honor the seniors. But then the other thing he did is he started, and they all got a chance to talk. But then Self went around and he talked about everybody else on the team. So he talked about Darren Peterson. He talked about Flory Badunga. He talked about these other guys on the team and had a little comment for each of them. And afterwards they said, "Well, why did you decide to do that?" And he said, "Well, I'm talking about," and I looked at Flory and then I looked at Darren and I thought, I better do it for them too. And I don't want to leave everybody out. So I didn't stop. But the reality was he knew that he was essentially going to turn over his entire roster. I mean, this is Kansas. Flory Badunga was the Big 12 Player of the Year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in the league. He was a first-team All-Big 12. He wasn't the Big 12 Player of the Year. I misspoke. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He was the first-team All-Big 12. He played 2 years at Kansas. He's in the portal. He's going to go to St. John's, or he's a fun. Oh my God, he's incredible. Like, of course, you'd want him back at Kansas. You'd want to build the team around him. And now there's reporting he's going to end up at Duke or St. John's or Texas Tech. I mean, this is Kansas, and they can't keep him, or maybe they don't want to, or maybe their assets are being spent elsewhere. That's the other part of it.
What's the chance for some of these big name players to enter the portal as a means of a contract negotiation, right? Where you're just testing the free agency. Like, that's what I thought with Badunga, because, yeah, the thing you just laid out made no sense.
No.
Like, Kansas isn't... You're not going to find it any better than Kansas, man, unless all you're trying to do is add more zeros to the contract or the check.
I'm
signing contract.
I'm pretty sure a lot of this is about that, especially with guys like this. Like, yeah, let's highest bidder. Let's go.
And also, I mean, he's much more valuable player than Devin Royal is. But I don't know what Flory Badunga's NBA futures are. He's 6'9", 240. He's not a particularly good shooter. He's an elite shot blocker, but he's not big enough to be a shot blocker. I mean, you got to be 7 foot to shot block in the NBA. So he's not that. He's not a shooter well enough where he could play stretch 4. So he's probably got to, I'm sure his people are saying, like, you need to, right now, strike while the iron's hot. You're the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, the first team all Big 12. Everybody wants a shot blocking big. And all of a sudden his price might be $6-7 million next year. I'm sure he's still the number 1 ranked player in the portal. That part doesn't change. So, yeah, it's a crazy spot we're at. And I think for Ohio State, they have to decide what they want to be. You have to decide what you want to be and how aggressive you want to be in this sport. Because if you want to be around it and you want to be aggressive and you want to look and be better than your rival, the bar for that just went up by a big amount in the last week or so. The Jackets, last time we had Porty on, it was kind of, what was the words he used? Oughta kind of win. Sure ought to win, something like that. I think we're probably must win now. We'll visit with Porty in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Very timely on that. One of the most interesting men you're ever going to find. The great Aaron Portzline covers the Jackets at The Athletic, and he joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We weren't must-win last time out. Are we now?
Yes, you are now must-win and must get help. Run through I think the only message now is run through the tape and hope that the people in front of you stumble, because it got a lot steeper last time.
Yeah, certainly did. And, you were optimistic, I think, as Jacket fans coming out of the emotional win in Detroit, where it felt like, my God, the season's all going to end right here. And then you get this incredible finish with the goal and then the shootout and all the drama that comes with it. And you think, boy, you're looking at this Buffalo team. And I warned, and I know you did too, like, I understand they're coming off a back-to-back, but they're trying to be the number one overall in the East, and they have their own things that they're tracking down, so you got them pretty motivated. I thought the start was decent, and then it got a hand in the third. As you look at the form that this team is playing with right now, Porty, what needs to change these last three starting Saturday in Montreal?
Well, the group up front has been a major disappointment, all of them. So they needed their scoring to come from everywhere. That's kind of the approach they had to have without a 40-goal guy, a 100-point guy. We've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
They needed depth scoring, and instead of it coming from everywhere, it's come from nowhere. They have 16 goals in their last 10 games total. I think 9 of those are by forwards. 9.
Jeez.
Marchenko has been their dude, their 30-goal guy, a guy I think can score 40. But, Bo, he has short-circuited here when the game's dialed up. Like, he's not himself in any way. He's not injured. No. He tells people he's not injured. It's just he's not reading plays. He's not moving the puck. He's not shooting the puck. You just look at it, it's like he needs to be unplugged and plugged back in again. He skates right into Fantilli, 3-on-3 in Detroit. They got away with it, but you're like, seriously, what is going on with this guy? That's the guy that's supposed to be the top dog, at least the top finisher at forward. But you go through it, and there's just, I listed him today. There's 3 or 4 guys that don't have any goals in the last 10 games when they've gone 2-7-1, and even more guys who have won. It's just completely dried up front, and it's a major concern.
Do you believe Marchenko's not hurt? Because earlier in the year he was dinged up and his form wasn't there. I know that they're saying that and he's saying it, but it doesn't. I don't know. It just almost doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. And God, I would absolutely believe that he got hurt coming out of that Fantilli hit.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable. As I thought of it, the 17,000 square feet on an NHL rink, and those two ended up on the same track, 3-on-3. No, listen, I've talked to people, and they have gone to him and asked him, "What's up? How you doing? Are you hurt? What can we do to help you?" And he insists that he is not hurt. Now that wasn't yesterday. That was a few games ago, so things could have changed. But this sort of wandering and playing in a fog has been with him for quite a while now. And I think once the temperature turned up, I think you realize that next level maybe for him right now is too rich. And what the Blue Jackets have to figure out, of course, is this like him recognizing this and this is where it's going to be, or this is who he is. And I certainly wouldn't give up on him yet, but I would be looking to surround him this off-season with some more difference-making forwards, because this isn't getting it done.
No, it's not. Porty, how important was it? Is it? I don't want to use past tense yet because we're not in a past tense point yet. But how important was it for this organization? Is it for this organization to get in by hook or crook, find a way to be the 8?
Let's just use the players' words, right? That's more powerful than us saying it. They all said before the season, if they don't make the playoffs, then this season is a failure. Multiple players said that. Multiple players.
Yeah.
And I would agree with them. I feel like, listen, we hear this. This is the dread cry. The Cleveland Browns tell you all the time how hard it is to win in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But somebody wins every game, right?
Yep.
Teams like the Blue Jackets, teams that have struggled to make the playoffs, tell you how hard it is to make the playoffs in the National Hockey League. Half the league makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, half the league makes it. So it can't be the biggest thing in the world to make the playoffs in the National Hockey League. It'd be great for them to make the playoffs. They should make the playoffs. This season is, they said failure. I would say disappointment, and I think it's going to send them, unless there's a major surprise here the rest of the way, it's going to send them into the off season confronting some major questions that were there already, but others that have cropped up here in the last few weeks.
Yeah, it certainly does. Everything around the deadline, all of it comes into question. And I agree with you, not disappointment, but probably where they were 2 weeks ago, you would have said now failure. You mentioned 2-7-1, just completely spitting the bit here down the stretch. And Bonus has tried everything. He's mixed lines. He's been harsh in press conferences, and then he's got kid gloves last night. Like, it feels like he's grasping at straws here a little bit. And he's been around the block a lot, and I don't think he thought this was in the brochure the way that this has gone the last couple of weeks. What is your kind of read on what he will try to do here in the last 3?
Well, I think, listen, this is a brutal back-to-back. It is at Montreal on Saturday. That is a hornet's nest right now. They're in the same spot that Buffalo is, trying to clinch the East. It's Hockey Night in Canada. That is a huge TV show up there. That's Monday Night Football for Canadians. And then they fly overnight. They go through customs. They come to Columbus and play Boston at home less than 24 hours later. Tomorrow night 7. Sunday is 6 at home. That is a rough back-to-back. I think he's just trying to pump as much oxygen, positive thoughts, and other things into their systems to keep this thing going. They did have 37 shots on goal. They had so many chances to score last night. Didn't. It is a results world. They failed in that respect. But they were not the zombies they were a week ago. Hey, progress, right?
Yeah.
But you got to score. The goalie that shut him out last night has spent more of his pro career in the East Coast League than even the American Hockey League. First career shutout. What a time for that.
Jeez. Yeah, I say this a lot of times in regard to Ohio State football when we talk about it. Porty, I said, look, like it's not before they had beaten Michigan in a long time. I said, look, these guys, it's not on them for what has happened in the past, right? Like that's not their burden.
Correct.
But I can say that all I want, and you can write it all you want, and you can say it all you want. But the reality is that there is a burden that comes with playing for this franchise this time of year. There's a reason that I could trademark the phrase chasing the 8 because it's what they've done for what feels like most of the last decade plus, and you can feel it's human nature, right? Do you feel that with them, that they are, I mean, you kind of mentioned that, I guess, that maybe the lights are just a little too bright.
Yeah, I guess I don't feel a continuation. Like, I certainly hear it. I see it in the comment section from fans that, this year's just like all the others. And, of course, it isn't. I mean, this is a distinct year. But, like, I give like a guy like Charlie Coyle or Mason Martin or the guys that have joined here recently, I don't think they look at this franchise as this is where you go to win a cup, certainly. But I also don't think they look at it as a perfectly hopeless situation either. I think there's going to be a lot of frustration that probably needs to settle down if this thing does play out that they don't make the playoffs. But I don't think they feel the burden of 25 years like the fan base does, or people that have paid attention to it closely. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I do think there's a perception of challenge with this franchise that's like other franchises that this season is not going to help that, certainly, because they're the team that geez, the lovable Blue Jackets who do not have or nobody hates the Blue Jackets. By God, somebody should hate them by now. And what a way to celebrate 25 years in the league with just kind of a incredibly disappointing, maybe one of their more disappointing seasons.
Yeah, certainly. If it finishes this way, enjoy Montreal on a Saturday night. I never take those type of things for granted when I covered things on a daily basis. I'm sure you won't either. Massive game for the Jackets. We'll do it again soon. Thanks for your time, buddy.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
There he goes. Aaron Portzline covers the Jackets at The Athletic on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Get you three things on a Friday coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then they help you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
After 3 years at Alabama, defensive tackle James Smith transferred to Ohio State for his final college season.
It kind of gave me like a feeling from back, like when I was busy as a freshman with Saban, like kind of felt like that, like because here, like I ain't gonna lie, I came here, they didn't lie to me not one time, like nothing they told me. Coach Larry Johnson told me like it's gonna be hard, like so I was okay with that.
Defensive coordinator Matt Patricia said Smith gravitates to football.
Sometimes just having football conversations, sometimes you're just given that little nugget. And when you're around guys like James, who has this amazing personality, and, you know, you love being around him because, you know, he's got the tough exterior, but he's going to smile and he's going to, you know, bear hug him and all that stuff. And then, okay, now I'm in and now we're talking ball, and he wants to be great. He wants to improve. And I think his just thirst for that knowledge is, you know, I love it. It's great.
This report was brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills. I'm Tyler Danberg on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Buckeye fans, game day just got hotter. Whether you're parked in the shoe lot or grilling at home, it's not a tailgate without Weber Grill's Traveler Grill. Fires fast, folds flat, fits compact, and delivers championship flavor every time. Burgers, brats, steaks, even rival fans agree. Bring the taste of victory wherever you grill. The Weber Traveler Grill. Tailgate tough, Buckeye proud. Weber Grills. Taste the tradition. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota, like the best-selling Tacoma. Now through May 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 26 Tacoma. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Or lease a well-equipped Tacoma SR5 for $299 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
When we designed our Columbus Blue Jacket ticket plans, we designed them for fans like you. For fans who want to choose their games and their seats, and fans who need flexibility when their plans change. Columbus Blue Jacket season ticket plans. Get your tickets now at bluejackets.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's the weather outside? Who cares? Bakers and shorts. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we get to the poll, when we reconvene next week, will the Jackets still be playing for something?
No.
Yeah, I think so. And the reason I say that is the schedule that both Philadelphia and the New York Islanders have in the Metro there. Philly has Winnipeg Saturday, then Carolina and Montreal Monday and Tuesday. The Islanders have Ottawa Saturday, Montreal Sunday, and Carolina on Tuesday.
I hope I'm wrong.
So I think this is going down to the last day.
Jeez. I can't remember the year, but I remember being at one of those, and when it came down to the last day, and for whatever happened earlier in the day, as the game was going final, we knew we weren't getting in. And there's nothing worse than being at Nationwide as they start to, melt the ice and eliminate the ice from the floor of the building there. So hopefully you don't have to deal with that. It's long odds. Bakes like NBC, overly and everly optimistic. We'll see.
No, I am not that person. I'm usually very negative. I just think this is the way this is going to be.
Yeah, you've been on this, though. Like you've been saying, not dead yet, still in it, still fine. And they are.
I think Ohio State basketball taught me that this year.
It did. We'll see if there's no way you can lose to Montreal Saturday. And that's going to be brutal, but you can't. You can't because you just don't. The margin for error is gone. So hopefully the next time we do this, we're still in the middle of this thing, and you get a win and you're in situation in the home finale against Washington. Let's hope that is the case. What do you have on the poll today, Reese?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Blue Jackets because the Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub asks, do you think the CBJ make the playoffs? 93% say no.
That's something. Like I would probably lean that way too. I think the smart money would lean that way. Bake laid out kind of the idea of how tough it is for the Islanders and who's the other one we're dealing with?
The Islanders and the
Flyers. And it's just as difficult for those two teams. They just have a little bit of a head up, and that they have points in hand. Go ahead,
just despite the way the poor way the Jackets have been playing, they've still maintained like the luck has been in their favor.
Yeah,
despite their poor play, luck I think is running out.
It does. It feels like the timing is not quite there as much anymore. Time for three things on a Friday. Hit it, fellas.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number one for me, not to complain, but just to state facts. Tonight at around 6 o'clock, Bootsy will be playing lacrosse 35 minutes southwest. Beamsy will be playing lacrosse 35 miles southeast. And NBC will be playing basketball 40 minutes west. We have two of us. Someone's not getting a parent. And we have never been this spread out.
Could your dad go?
He can't drive in this climate. He's used to a horse and buggy. He's used to dirt
There
roads.
are parts
brother.
in Ohio that could work.
Yeah, I might take him up to Amish country and give him a little tour so he can see some of that operation. He can feel at home. But no, I would not put him behind the vehicle behind the wheel of a vehicle here. So we're calling on some friends to get it worked out. I love the youth sports; it's great. But my God, is this insane on a Friday night?
First thing for me is you're looking for stuff for the show. You bookmark and you like a lot of things. And I missed putting this in the prep, but ESPN says that FC Cincinnati is exploring a move to bring Neymar to Major League Soccer. They've initiated contact with his representatives to gauge the interest and then to have some preliminary discussions. He's with Santos, and that club, his deal runs through the end of 2026.
There was a time when he was messy. Like, you thought he was going to be that level. And then just injuries and a million other things. But there was a moment where he certainly looked like he was headed for that.
I know we don't like talking a lot of baseball on this show, but if you're looking for a story in Major League Baseball, San Diego Padres closer Mason Miller, they acquired him from the Oakland Athletics last year at the trade deadline. He is having himself not only quite a year, but quite a career. He has struck out 16 of the 21 batters he has faced this year. In his last 15 batters he's faced, 14 of them have struck out. One of them was a ground out. In his Major League Baseball career so far, he has struck out 262 of the 643 hitters he's faced. If you were wondering, that's just under 41% of the time he faces someone, they strike out.
They strike out.
The heck of a pitcher.
That's pretty good. Number two for me, I don't know if you guys saw this story. We didn't get a chance to get to it this week, but because we don't do a lot of Sacramento Kings or, for that matter, NBA, the Sacramento Kings were investigated for intentionally tanking. Now, there's a lot of tanking in the NBA right now because this draft is going to be really good, and so people want to give themselves their best shot at it, and the Sacramento Kings are one of them. The NBA investigated, and what they were doing is they kept fouling Seth Curry and giving him free throws, and the accusation was, well, they were doing this to make sure that they lost the game. The NBA's investigation turned up that Doug Christie, who is the coach of the Kings, had no idea that they were already in the bonus. His own incompetence, not tanking in this instance for the Sacramento Kings.
Guess it works out in that situation.
Jeez.
It was like the first time I've ever agreed, I'll make this my second thing, with Draymond Green, who said that he called 11 teams tanking and only 2 fines have been issued for tanking. And he said, well, that something has got to be done there. And I do think that fines are probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So I agreed with Draymond Green and Tommy Tuberville in the same week.
What a week for you.
That's what a week. I don't like that. No.
Well, guys, it's the annual thing for me, and I've put it off as long as I think I have, or the long as I think I could. Today, after my update shift at 2, when I get out of here, I'm going to have to go home and officially start working on the taxes. It's time.
Yeah?
It's time. We gotta get rolling on this weekend and get this all done.
What have you been doing, dog?
I've been working and watching the Jackets and doing other things. So around watching the Jackets this weekend, there's going to be a lot of tax work being done.
That's late last minute, brother.
That's how we roll around here.
Number 3 for me, to the surprise of nobody, and we talked about this earlier, Terrell Hatton, also Robert McIntyre, both making gestures towards Augusta National. See reporting this morning that McIntyre, of course, was talked to after his round. And I'm guessing that talking to went something like this. You do that again, you're never coming back.
Hatton's having a day today, too. I think he's -3 on his round, at least last I checked.
There you go.
Final thing for me, come see us Sunday at the Ohio State 4-miler. We'll have a tent in the parking lot of Ohio Stadium. We'll get people registered for the Fan 5K. 4-miler's really cool because you get to finish on the 50-yard line. Ohio State's doing a really cool thing where you get to meet and greet with Jeremiah Smith. I think it's after the event, but you get to run around campus without being hit by a car. And that's always a win.
That's a win. Nice.
Rothman and Ice, they have been killing it this week, so don't go anywhere. Howard Griffith of the Big Ten Network going to join them at 1:30. Bob McElligott, the radio play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets at 2. And then a little chin music. I know you love the baseball talk, Bo, with Jensen Lewis.
You have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We're back next Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the